your downtown eye doc. This month, save big with 10% off your first pair of glasses and 30% off additional pairs. Everyday wear, computer wear, sunwear, we will find what's right for you. Why choose just one pair? Get a pair for every occasion.
Set up an appointment with Dr. Michael Rexine or myself, Dr. Vanessa Manlove, at michaelrexine.com, with locations in both Fargo and Mayville.
Eyes on Broadway. You will see the difference.
How a busy baker beat back foot pain. Meet Sanja.
Brownies, cupcakes, cookies. I love to bake. There have been times when I've been on my feet for at least 12 hours.
And that's how things went from sweet to sour.
I had excruciating pain in both feet to a point where I had to limp out of the kitchen.
So she called up a former foot pain sufferer, her big sister.
She told me, you need to go to the Good Feet store and get some arch supports.
Smart lady.
It was an awesome experience. Scott took great care of my feet.
He's the arch support specialist who fitted her.
He was very patient, very knowledgeable. Scott was the man.
Now Sanja can have her cake and bake it too.
Oh yeah, my feet are very happy now.
You're gonna have to make some cookies for Scott.
I've already done that.
Of course you did. See how arch supports work for you. Stop in or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Stop by the Good Feet store on 13th Avenue near TJ Maxx Plaza for a free fitting. Call 1-800-NEW-FEET or visit mygoodfeet.com.
It's the Cash for Cars event at Gateway Chevrolet. All makes, all models. Sell your ride today. Whether it has 50,000 miles or 150,000 miles, Gateway Chevrolet will buy it. Cars, trucks, and SUVs get cash today. Gateway Chevrolet needs good, clean, used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Sell your ride today, whether it has 50,000 miles or 150,000 miles. Gateway will buy it. The Cash for Cars buying event today at Gateway Chevrolet in Fargo.
KQWB, West Fargo, Fargo-Moorhead, and KPFX, HD3 Kindred, Bison 1660. Powered by Gateway Chevrolet, Cadillac, Nissan, and Hyundai in Fargo.
And here's what you need to know. NBA playoffs, the Eastern Conference Finals will go to a 6th game as the Celtics, avoiding elimination with a 110-97 win against the Miami Heat. They were on fire from beyond the three-point arc, hitting 16 three-pointers, and 4 of their 5 starters had 20 or more points. In contrast, Miami didn't have a single player hit the 20 mark. The Heat ahead in this series 3-2. Game 6 set for Miami tomorrow evening. In NBA news, The Athletic is reporting that LeBron James might need surgery this offseason after he played with a torn tendon in his foot during the playoffs. And in the NHL playoffs, Western Conference Finals, the Stars avoid the sweep with a 3-2 overtime win against the Golden Knights. Joe Pavelski with the game winner in sudden death. Vegas ahead in the series 3-1. I'm Kevin Wire.
This is The Insiders, taking you inside the lines and behind the scenes of NDSU and around the region.
I hang heavy on your thoughts because you are the Bison gods.
That should be a penalty.
The Insiders.
Do you have any other questions?
You know it.
The Insiders are presented by Proseed. Need seed? Think Proseed.
Okay, so what are you saying?
These guys do an unbelievable job, and tune into The Insiders.
I did have one. I do not apologize for taking it out of the 6-pack.
First thing you should know about us is that we have people everywhere.
The Insider. The Insider. The Insider.
The prices were that shocking. I wasn't listening. I'm an old soul.
Now, here are the Insiders.
Well, we're waiting.
The wait for the weekend is just about done. It is a Feel Good Friday on the Insiders. Welcome on into the program. Here inside the Theraldson Ethanol Broadcast Center. Locked and loaded. It is a NDSU baseball game day. Hope you have caught your breath. Hope the fingernails have grown back a little bit. It was a nail biter in the elimination game yesterday against Omaha. Needed some extras to get it done. They got it done. They move on to today to take on that team to the south for the 5th time in 8 days. NDSU versus SDSU. But this time, it really means everything because the winner's season is still alive. They're going to beat Oral Roberts twice, and that looks pretty tough right now. And the loser
Don't worry about that.
is done.
That's in the future.
That's in the future. You can't worry about the future.
Beat NDSU.
We're-
That's all
be-
that matters.
be in the present.
Be the here and now.
Be present. Yes.
Shrink the change, Andy. You don't have to beat Oral Roberts
Shrink the
twice
change.
today. You just
What's
got
that?
Something I read in a book once.
Oh, okay. You read books.
Yeah, man. I'm a student again.
There you go.
Remember? Come
That's
on
right.
now.
I did. I do remember that.
I actually can segue that into, not to get off of NDSU baseball right away, but you think about like in these series when they talk about getting swept, and it's like, oh, you got to win 4 in a row. No, you don't. You got to win 4. You got to win 1, right? And people talk about that all the time, but it's easy to go ahead and look at the big picture. No, you don't got to win. You don't have to win 3 if you're NDSU. You don't have to beat Oral Roberts twice. You got to beat South Dakota State once.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. See, I just shrunk the change.
You should be in the locker room.
I
Tyler
should
Oaks
be a
needs
philosopher
someone.
or something, right?
Philosophy. We'll do that segment right after your philosophy with Kyle. Will be right after sports philosophy with Micah Bindi. And golf played on a 10-inch surface called your mind, or whatever the phrase was. What was that?
Golf is played on a 10-inch surface. Your brain.
I hope people
ask
are watching.
Michael Block how that's going.
I hope people are watching on the horse cam so they can see him also do the motion.
He's got the motion. You can watch our show live on our Facebook page, Bison 1660, via the Horse Cam, Horse Farming with Passion, online at horse.com. Michael Block, by the way, we'll dive into that.
That was.
We both bought it yesterday, and I think the moment after I started talking, I was like, I probably should have sold it.
You instantly convinced both of us.
Let's be real about this. The guy's not a PGA Tour player. He's a good player. He's a PGA Pro. He could kick my you-know-what each and every time, right? But to do what he did at the PGA Championship is probably the best consecutive 4 rounds he's played in his life. To do it again was probably asking a bit much, especially when he has been pulled every which way and been distracted and probably not got as much practice time this week.
Yeah, that was a bad buy on our part.
Plus 11,
Like
by
I
the
said,
way.
you convinced me instantly. Like I said, like, oh, I'm going to buy it. It's a shorter course, whatever. And then you were like, yeah, I buy it too. But, he's been pulled in all these directions. He's had all these interviews, all this attention. People actually know who he is now. Like, he showed up at Oak Hill. No one knew who he was. No one expected him to make the cut. Now, I will say, after, like, round 2, people knew who he was because he was in the lead for a while. Mm-hmm. And he still handled the pressure there the final 2 rounds.
Did.
He shot 1 over on the weekend, tied for 15th. So he had done it before, but it was a bad day. I actually watched some of it towards the end. I mean, it looked like me out on the course where you're happy to have a par putt. Just a par putt, not a birdie putt, like a par putt.
A par putt from like 30 feet away.
Every single time he was putting for bogey, double bogey. It was a rough round for him. He's trying to bounce back today. Micah, do we have an update on old Michael Block?
He was plus 2 through 7 today.
So it looks like you and I were wrong.
So, he's catching up to second to last place. Yeah. I think it's Henrik Norlander is 3 shots better than him right now. He won't be making the cut, obviously. And, again, not trying to downplay what he did. What he did at the PGA this almost makes it more impressive what he did at the PGA Championship.
Yes.
It's like, this is how he probably typically plays.
Update plus 1 through 9.
Right. There we go. Let's go. Comeback City.
Wasn't he dead last?
Yeah, he was dead last after yesterday. Plus 11.
I did enjoy. I was reading through Twitter, and someone said golf Twitter, the only place where you'll find like amateur golfers who can't break 90 at their local Muni course from the front tees, criticizing a guy who just finished top 15 at the PGA Championship.
Exactly.
Like, it's so true.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So true. Like,
I could have hit that shot. No,
what are you doing? You're terrible. Like,
you'd have no chance.
Golf is hard enough, and now imagine he was By the way, I don't think this was in buy or sell the week before. He was in a featured group on ESPN Plus and PGA Tour Live. He was in featured group
yesterday.
Yeah,
I didn't think the group he was golfing with was very.
No, he was the feature.
Yeah,
it'd be like if Tiger was playing with you and me, we'd be in a featured group because it's Tiger. He was not comparing him to Tiger, but you know what I'm saying. Like they featured.
He
that
was
group
the featured
because
part
of
the
him.
Group. Yeah,
yeah.
It's like when you're playing at a celebrity program, celebrity and non-celebrity, and he was the celebrity.
Yeah, he was
the other 2 that were there with
absolutely.
him. By the way, Tom Hoagie did have a good day on the course. Go Tom! Love that angle with him having. This is kind of. I think this was a course last year he missed the cut at, actually, the Charles Schwab. I don't know if it was this tournament, but it was at this course, which is an hour, maybe not even, from where he actually lives down there in Texas, Fort Worth area. But playing much better here in round 1 was 4 under. I think he was tied for 3rd place. If we have an update on him as well, we'll give you that throughout the program today down there at the Charles Schwab Invitational. But as I mentioned, it is an NDSU game day. Yesterday was an absolute nail-biter. They won in extras 7-6, took 12 innings to get it done, had a 6-1 lead over Omaha. Got off to a great start. Peter Brookshaw, 2-run blast over the right field wall on a day when it is blowing in right field, and he smashed one way past the wall there. 2-0 early on, 3-0 after the first inning. You felt like, okay, refocused, took a breath, we're good. Let's do this thing here today. Scored another run, I believe, in the second, and you're up. You're good, 4-0. Tristan Roach is out there. He was dealing. It was 6-1. Even when they gave up a run, it was 5-0 to 5-1. They went and added one right again, put it right back to a 5-run lead at 6-1. Then Tristan Roach left, and you felt like Omaha kind of said, okay, he's out of there. Let's see if we can do anything against these next couple of guys. And Joey Danielson and Skylar Riedinger just didn't throw a lot of strikes. They were behind in the count almost every time to every batter, 1-0 or 2-0 or 2-1, and it just struggled to throw the strikes, had some walks, gave up some contact, 3-run home run in the 8th. Granted, Joey Danielson kind of worked out of it in the 7th, only gave up 1 run, but then a 3-run home run in the 8th off Riedinger. Next thing you know, it's a 1-run game. Gave up 1 run as well in the 9th. Almost lost it. There was a runner on third with 2 outs. Skylar really settled down, 3 straight strikes to Eduardo Rosario, and got the strikeout there to force it into extras. And then Parker Pitts came in, and he was phenomenal. And he pitched the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th. He got the win for NDSU, and he threw a lot of strikes and worked very fast. Needed that. The Bison had chances in the 10th and the 11th to end it. Weren't able to, but did get the sacrifice fly in the 12th and got the win 7-6. Took some years off the life, I'm sure, of Tyler Oakes, his staff.
What about yourself?
Myself in the box. I was like, oh, my gosh, guys, let's do this thing done already. And when you're at home, it's tournament time. Anything can happen. And we talked about that going in. Omaha has had a very down year to their standards. Very down. And just got in on the last day of the regular season. But when NDSU played them, they went 1-1 here in Fargo. They won 2 out of 3 in Omaha. Games were close. It was pretty tight contest, and they're a very dangerous team. And you felt like even at 6-1, yes, you needed to add. Can you add 2 more? Can you add another? You had to keep adding on. They did. They added a run here, a run there, a run there. But you didn't have that 2 or 3 run inning that you felt like, okay, you get 2 more, you put them away. They always felt like they just had a little hope, and then those later innings came around. They got going, and then it got pretty dangerous there for a second.
Yeah, it was an interesting game to watch. Me and Mike, I was in here watching while Micah was running the board and listening to you, and it was one of those games. I think weirdly you have to give credit to both teams because, like you said, it felt like NDSU could have blown this thing open early, and Omaha prevented them from doing it. But it also felt like there were times before I know they eventually tied it up, but even before that, it felt like Omaha had chances, right? They had a number of chances, 6th, 7th inning, and NDSU kept them at bay until it kind of fell apart there at the end, and they end up tying it up. But NDSU did a good job of keeping them back, and then Omaha did a good job of staying within arm's reach the entire game. And like you said, it felt like the pitchers struggled a little bit, finding the strike zone. We're working from behind the count the entire time. Give credit to Omaha's bullpen, by the way, and I know you said this on the call. Like, they came in and did a phenomenal job.
Wyatt Sellers came in
3 innings in a row.
Wyatt Sellers hadn't pitched 4 innings since, I think the date was like February 7th. Came in 4 innings, gave up 2 runs, but that's fine. Kept him in the game and did a good job. Caleb Rydell, who hasn't pitched in a couple of months, arm issues there, comes out of the bullpen 1-2-3 in his only inning of work, and then they had a couple other guys come in and do pretty well. Their bullpen has been pretty shaky. Actually performed really, really well and kept NDSU. The Bison went down 1-2-3 in the 7th, 8th, and 9th before really getting some chances there in extras. They do get the win. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter how you do it. Just they got the win. Their season continues. Omaha's is done. The only issue there is you would have loved to have finished that thing out 6-1 or whatever it was, just in 9 innings, because once it got tied in the 9th and it goes to extras, they had to bring in Parker Pitts, who did a phenomenal job. He's a true freshman in a big spot right there. I mean, I'm excited for the future of that young man. He's pitching some big environments this year, and then in that situation with their season on the line, 3 straight times able to get the Bison off the field and get the win. But you would have been starting Parker Pitts today. He would have been your guy, and that was ideally the way you would have liked to have done it, is he can start today, get you to Saturday, and then you find out what you got left for Saturday with those 2 games you're going to have to win. But now that he pitched 3 innings yesterday, a little over 30 pitches, I mean, you could throw him back out there to start, but you're not going to be getting 6-7 innings from him. It's going to be 3-4. The other option there is Max Lovin, who has had a very up and down year. Coming into the year, he's probably your top pitcher or your number 2 pitcher behind Cade Feeney. They're right there, and he was your number 1 guy a year ago. He's pitched in big spots. He's had a lot of success sometimes in the Summit League tournament, too. He's had great games there. He's had some shaky ones. But this year it's been mostly down. And there was a few arm issues, but I think got hit around a lot early on. A little lack of confidence taken out of the starting rotation on the weekends, pitching the midweeks mostly. They did lengthen him out, though, against the same SDSU squad back on basically a week ago, last Saturday. Great first time through the order. Second time through, got hit around a little bit more. But he has pitched 6-7 innings before in his career. I would assume that's going to be the direction Tyler Oaks will go. Going to be a short leash, though. If there's any issues, any trouble, they're going to have to go to the bullpen pretty quickly. It's all hands on deck every game here out because your season is on the line. But not having Parker Pitts completely rested is definitely not the ideal situation.
I think it's time for a Max Lovin heroic performance.
Like you said,
he's been there.
Yep.
He broke the record, correct, for starts at
yep.
NDSU, starting pitching. So he's been there, done that before. Like you said, been an up and down year a little bit, but it seems like this is the time. If there was ever a guy where you're like, okay, well, our 3 weekend starters have all thrown. Maybe we don't know if one of them can go today. It seems like if there was ever a guy, Max Lovin is that guy. And can he give you 5 strong innings? I mean, I think if you can get 5 innings out of him today, that's the ideal situation there for Tyler Oaks. Now you can go to the bullpen. You don't have to throw guys as much. It seems like it's set up for that. And that's the way I'm going to view this in my mindset. I'm gonna think positive. I think Max Lovin can be a guy that can go out there, give you 4 or 5 solid innings. You can get to the bullpen, and you can find a way to beat the Bunnies.
By the way, Max Lovin, like I said, did pitch against South Dakota State. If you go back a couple of years to that 2021 season, Lovin has had some success before in the Summit League tournament as well. Just scrolling back through against Omaha in the Summit League tournament back in the 21 year, the year they win the tournament, they go on to face to an NCAA regional, face Stanford, and end up winning a game out there. He pitched 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Now that Max Lovin's not this year Max Lovin. Clearly hasn't had those type of outings, but he's had success in this tournament before. In this setting, he's handled pressure well. If I'm Max, it's nothing else I'd want, right? You want the ball. He's senior, guy who's been here, done that. He wants a chance to keep a season alive for his team and, frankly, a career alive for himself, too, and keep fighting and clawing. And I would love it if he goes out there and gives you 6 strong innings. You can turn that thing over, hopefully, to the bullpen. It's going to be all hands on deck. Reidinger threw a couple of innings yesterday. I don't think he'd be able to come back and give you much today. They do still have Zetterman that can give you a few innings, and he hasn't pitched out of the bullpen yet. The other side of the coin is South Dakota State doesn't have a whole lot left either. Going to go Jake Goebel, I would assume, today, their starter that hasn't pitched yet. The benefit for SDSU, if there is one, to losing yesterday against Oral Roberts and lost pretty convincingly in that game, was not close as Oral Roberts advanced to the championship game. Because the game was so lopsided, they did not throw Ryan Barrasso or Eli Sundquist. They're 2 absolutely shutout arms in their bullpen. The Bison did score 1 run off them last week in the only game that they pitched in, but they haven't pitched it in this series or in this tournament. So you would assume Rob Bishop, season's on the line. You're not going to end your season without throwing your guys. They're probably both going to be ready to go for 2 innings each in this one. So if SDSU has any sort of lead late, or frankly, even if they're behind, they're going to be throwing those guys because you're not just going to keep them in the bullpen and not use them in this game that is an elimination game for both sides. So they maybe don't have the pitching depth. Most teams don't have a pitcher like Max Lovin that you can just turn to as your 4th starter, so NDSU lucky in that case. But SDSU has not thrown their 2 studs out of the bullpen yet, and they've got those 2 cards to definitely play and will be playing at some point in this game. Again, 4:05 is the first pitch. If you didn't know that one already, 4:05 first pitch. We go live 3:45 tonight from Newman Outdoor Field. Very much looking forward to another elimination game. It's NDSU, SDSU. It seems like these 2 programs, universities, whether the sport is football, basketball, baseball in this case, softball, whatever it is, these 2 universities tend to go right at each other in just about every single sport, and now it is win or go home, and it's the 7th game, or actually, the 5th game in the last 8 days between these 2 teams. And they've faced 7 times already this season. The Bison have won 4 of the 7, 4-3 so far, hopefully 5-3 after today. So there you go. That is the update from the Summit League tournament, as it'll be NDSU versus SDSU, and then after that, the winner has to go on to tomorrow and beat Oral Roberts not once but twice, and ORU has only lost once in conference play all season long. They won last night 15-2, dominant fashion. South Dakota State, I believe, tied the record for most errors in a game in the D1 era. SDSU kind of played like NDSU did on Thursday night. There was a lot of errors. There were some base running mistakes. When you say what went wrong, the answer is kind of everything. Nothing really went right. They had a chance early in the game. I think they were down 2, had the bases loaded with 1 out, grounded into a double play. So they had some opportunities early on to keep that game close, weren't able to get them. And then Oral Roberts ran away 15-2, and they are on to Saturday. They have to win 1 game on Saturday, and they get today off. The winner of today's game, NDSU and SDSU, will have to beat Oral Roberts twice tomorrow. A very tall task against this Golden Eagles squad, but you still got to play the games. That's why you play them, and see if one of these teams can come out on top there. Hopefully the Bison today out at Newman Outdoor Field. If you haven't got a chance to catch any games yet, strongly encourage you going out there. Should be a really, really good game. These two teams have played a bunch of close games already this season. Today on the program, by the way, we do have a couple of guests for you, and it is a Friday, so Feel Good Friday, Feel Good News of the Week, and Future Crop of Bison later on. Another warning to both of you guys. I know
I'm ready.
Kyle's got a schedule.
I'm ready.
Kyle's got a schedule.
I got a great
I'm
one.
well aware.
Every week is a great one, but this is a
Is it a doozy?
This is a really good one.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I'm excited.
That's a big tease. Now you gotta perform, though.
It's a big tease.
You raise the bar
Stay
on that
tuned
one
for
the
this
Future
one.
Crop of Bison, brought to you by CNH Industrial. And our Feel Good News of the Week, brought to you by Ryan Kill, State Farm Insurance Agent, as well. They'll be at the end of the program. But Jory Collins, head coach of the NDSU women's basketball team, will join us here in about 10 minutes. Got some camps coming up. It's camp season for all of these programs at NDSU. We'll get his thoughts on that. Also, a few newsworthy notes. Grace Massaquoi, a player coming into the program from NDSCS, another guard for them, a great athlete, a decent rebounder as well, a really good defensive player, going to give him some versatility. Looking forward to getting his thoughts on that addition to the program. And then Dylan Geisert as well, being promoted to associate head coach. A great addition, not addition, but a great promotion there. Dylan definitely deserving of that one. And looking forward to having Jory Collins on here about 10 minutes or so, working out with his son. We'll see. Getting to the point where much longer does Dad keep, the athletic prowess over the son? Getting close. Maybe bring that one up as well. Might be a sensitive subject, though, because Jory, very, very competitive out there. And then also at noon today, Tyler Merriam will stop by, preview NDSU and SDSU. Once again, get to be up there in the booth at Newman Outdoor Field right next to Tyler Merriam. Last night, though, before we get to the guests, the Boston Celtics won. So they won at home, not overly unexpected. They're still, everyone's saying they're the better team. At this point, I think both teams are pretty good. They were at home, though. Got the win after losing 2 games at home to start the series. They were down 3-0. Now it's 3-2 going back to Miami for tomorrow, Game 6 in South Beach. After Game 1, we all made fun of the national media for saying, okay, are the Celtics going to come back and win when they'd only won 1 game? Now it's 2. Now we can talk about, can they come back and win the series, I feel like.
So the stat is 150-0, I believe, is the number.
Never been done in the NBA.
3-0 in the NBA playoffs. They are 150-0. And only 3 times has that ever even gone to Game 7. Now, this one is so interesting because, as we were talking about before the show, Andy, like the Celtics are, it's not even a question, at least in the regular season, it's not even a question. They were the better team.
Mm-hmm.
Not very often, maybe never, I don't know, we'd have to go through all 150 of them, but almost never does the better team go down 3-0. It's usually the team that you expected to go down 3-0 is down 3 games. So that, like the Lakers-Nuggets. No one thought the Lakers were going to win 4 in a row against the Nuggets. Like, yeah, they might win 1 or 2, but they're not winning 4 in a row against the Nuggets. This is a little different. The Celtics have been a streaky team throughout these playoffs. They have. They've lost some head scratchers. They weren't great at home. They lost 2 in a row to the Heat at home in this series. But when they figure it out, they are clearly one of the best teams in the NBA, and it feels like they figured it out. So now I'm a little nervous because I was right there with you. I said it on the show yesterday. I was making fun of everyone in the national media like, oh, they're going to create history. It's been 1 game. Let's calm down. But now it's 2, and now I'm kind of like, I don't know.
And they blew the Heat out last night.
It wasn't close. I watched a little bit of it. The Heat, it's interesting because if I asked you a team's down 3-0 or a team's up 3-0, who should have the more pressure, who would you think? The team that's
down 3-0.
Right.
Season's on the line.
Season's on the line, but it never seems to play out that way. It always seems like the team that is up feels the pressure for whatever reason, like, oh, we just got to get that one game, and they can't do it. The team that their season on the line, no one expects them to win. They kind of play free. They play loose, and they find a way to win games. At least that's the way it looked yesterday. The Heat were on the heels. They could not stop turning the ball over.
I think for the first two games, when you're down 3-0, all the pressure's on the team that's down. When you're down 3-0, you got to win that win to survive. Even when you're down 3-1, it's like, okay, all the pressure's really on you. When you get to 3-2, now the pressure shifts to the team that was up 3-0. You better not.
Especially when Game 7 goes back to Boston.
Yes.
You got one game left at home if you're Miami. And it's Game 6.
And it's one thing when it's a series like this. Like if Miami had been down 3-0, would we all been that shocked? No. Boston's a 2 seed. Miami, they beat the 1 seed. They had some good success, but it's coming to an end. When you're the 8 seed and you get up 3-0, now the pressure really does shift on you because you don't want to be a part of that history. The one that loses to what would be 150-0 would be 150-1. You don't want that. That feels like a thing a Minnesota sports team would do.
And it's got to happen, right? Well, the funny thing is, the first time it ever happened in baseball, you guys know who?
So the Minnesota Twins?
No.
Okay.
Boston Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Red Sox down 3-0 in 2004.
Good movie.
They come back and win. So it was a Boston team there. I believe the Bruins have done it as well in hockey, or did they someone came back on them? One of the two. Either the Bruins came back from 3-0 or they were up 3-0. And either way.
I know they were up 3-1 in this year in the first round.
Yeah, correct.
They're having the best regular season
It happens,
in history.
for whatever reason, it seems like it happens to these Boston teams. And it feels like the Celtics, I'm kind of buying into it now. Now I'm saying that, and based on my predictions from yesterday, this means the Heat are going to win Game 6 because I had Michael Block making the cut.
Yep.
Nope. And I had the Heat winning last night. Nope.
See, in Game 4, I went opposite of what I thought was going to happen. I said, I think Miami's going to win, but I'm going to go with Boston to win because I've been that bad. Yesterday, I went with my belief. My belief was, Miami will close this thing out today. Well, I should have gone opposite and gone back with Boston. So
Kyle, you're right.
It out for Sunday.
2010 Eastern Conference semifinals in hockey, the Flyers came back on the Boston Bruins down 3-0.
So it happens
great
in Boston.
Hockey mind.
Great hockey mind right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's right.
Let me get you the breakdown. The Dallas Stars got a game. They were down 3-0. They won last night.
They were attacking the net. They were getting in front of the net, and they were doing some good things. I watched a little bit of that game.
How do the Stars come back? How do they win this thing?
Oh, man. You got to give me some time to write something.
How do they win 3 more? Well, that's the end of the show.
Grit.
Grit.
They got to be gritty.
Mental grit.
Mm-hmm. Net front presence. Say that.
Yeah.
Net front presence is always a good one.
Got to be good in the goaltending as well.
Yeah. Goaltending is a key to
that's
everything.
Comes down.
That's the only reason the Panthers
avoid
are even
the power
in
plays, right? That's what that was the Wild's downfall.
Mm-hmm. That and many others.
They gave the Stars like 100 power plays in that
and they're
series.
not good on the penalty kill either.
Yeah.
And they couldn't win the faceoff. Win faceoffs.
Oh, the faceoffs. They were terrible.
Win on the dot, as they call it.
Right.
On the dot. So that is the lineup for you today. Tyler Merriam at noon. Jory Collins here at 11:30. Also, again, future crop of Bison in hour 2 and our feel-good news. So we are fully packed for you. But welcoming in your calls still, 701-476-1660, the Epic Company's hotline. You can also text us at that very same number, or you can email us. The Rick Electric email inbox also open for you today. That is studio@bison1660.com. And you can watch the show live on our Horse Cam, and you can comment there on our Bison 1660 Facebook page. We'll take a break here. We'll come back. Jory Collins on the other side, talking some NDSU women's basketball, the offseason, and a newsworthy month for that Bison women's basketball program. Have the head coach on when we come back next.
This is the Insiders on your home for NDSU sports. Bison 1660.
I think what makes Proceed win is we're different than the other companies in many ways with our programming, our simplicity, our non-corporate attitudes, and our personal relationship building.
What Proceed is, we bring back the old-fashioned seed buying experience. We're true seedsmen. We care about everything from the sale to the planting to following up afterwards. That's what we're all about, is just trying to bring that experience back to a personal level.
Need seed? Think Proceed. Proceed.net. Great seed at a reasonable price.
Dakota Refrigeration, now known as DRI, has been serving Minnesota, the Dakotas, and Montana for over 4 decades. Locally owned and operated since 1974, DRI is a full-service source for your refrigeration, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and electrical service needs. From the entryway to the kitchen, from hot to cold, from dreary to bright, DRI has you covered. DRI, formerly Dakota Refrigeration, with locations in Fargo, Bismarck, and Minot, online at dacref.com.
Hey, it's Kyle Emanuel, former defensive end for the Bison. I have always tried to surround myself with people I trust and who want me to succeed. It's been my life motto, and this is so true when you are choosing your insurance game plan, which is why I have the good neighbors of Ryan Kill State Farm on my team. Ryan made finding the right insurance plan so simple. I told him my priorities, and he gave me clear options so I can make an educated decision without pressure or a hidden agenda. There are so many insurance agencies, but not many as great as Ryan Kill State Farm.
If you want a good neighbor on your sideline, reach out by going to RyanKillInsurance.com.
Choosing a new vehicle should be fun, and it is when you choose a new Nissan from Gateway Nissan in Fargo. Built solid, sleek, and sporty, and never boring. That's what a new Nissan Altima all-wheel drive sedan is, and with great fuel economy. Plus, right now, lease one just $199 a month, or a new Rogue all-wheel drive for $199 a month with comfy zero-gravity seats. If you're looking for a luxury all-wheel drive SUV with V6 power, check out a new Nissan Murano for just $199 a month at Gateway Nissan. Stop by for a test drive. Details, FargoNissan.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Are you a fan of Twin Peaks? Sign up for the E-Club to stay up to date on all things Twin Peaks and score free stuff. Signing up is easy. Just visit TwinPeaksRestaurant.com/Peaks-Club to get started today. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
At Cardinal IG, they don't just create innovative glass solutions, they foster a culture of collaboration and teamwork. Their employees bring a wealth of experience and expertise to every project and deserve to be celebrated. This May, Cardinal IG would like to shine the spotlight on Ed Becerra, who is celebrating 25 years, Cesarina Hessel, 10 years, and Famata Thomas, Ayub Solavani, and Ronald Dosu, who are all celebrating their first year at Cardinal IG. From the entire team, thank you. To view open positions or to apply, visit CardinalFargo.com.
Jeremy here at Horsch in Mapleton. Did you know that Horsch manufactures premier planting, seeding, and tillage solutions right here in the FM area? We are proud to be a family-owned business based out of Germany and would love for you to join our team right here in Mapleton. We offer competitive pay, full benefits, and paid family time from Christmas to New Year's. Please visit Horsch.com to view our current openings.
Your vehicle is likely one of your biggest assets and certainly your ultimate connection to freedom. So it needs to be kept in tip-top shape. And Jiffy Lube of Fargo will make it happen. With no appointment needed, just drive into any of the 3 convenient Fargo locations for their signature service oil change, which includes a check of all your vehicle's vital fluids and an inspection of other preventative maintenance items to ensure you're ready to hit the road. For over 40 years, locally owned Jiffy Lube of Fargo has been the place that Fargo Moorhead has counted on to keep them on the road.
Big Green Tractor, Jason Aldean. Come on.
Full point for him.
Give me something hard.
Wow. That was pretty good, Kyle.
It's right in your wheelhouse, I guess. It is great country music. I do love Jason. That was a good one. I got to at least hear somebody talk before I start to
I knew that as soon as I heard the first chord, whatever you want to call it.
You'd be really good on our sister station, Bob 95. Their 1 second song.
Oh,
you'd crush that.
I listened to a couple of them. One of them was Last Night by Morgan Wallen. I was like, come on, I should call it.
Yeah, it's been played it's pretty popular right now. You gotta go in the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
A little further back. This hour of The Insider is brought to you by Rick Electric. When you need electrical work, you need Rick Electric. For over 56 years, they've been serving the FM area and been doing a great job at it as well. Whether it be commercial or residential, they've got you covered there at Rick Electric. Visit them online at rickelectric.com, bringing you this hour on a Feel Good Friday on The Insiders. And let's go over to our Epic Companies hotline for our first guest of the day, head coach of NDSU women's basketball, Jory Collins. Nice enough to stop by with us on the phone lines. Sir, how you doing? It's been a little while. How has the early quote-unquote off-season been for you?
I'm doing well, Andy. Doing really good. I would also like to say I would dominate the 1 second song clip. I listen every morning, and I think I can call in and get it every time.
I can see that. I think that music's right in your wheelhouse as well. You should come in and you should do the show for me once, and you could actually maybe take a couple off Kyle. He beats me on the song every single time. Every single time.
We can set that up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have Jory listen to the show and he can text me. That's the only way I'd probably ever
be
get quick. The songs. I better be
those
really
fingers ready.
Yeah, just keep Kyle's mic off for a little bit. But good to have you on with us again, and appreciate you giving us some time. I know you guys got camps coming up, so we'll touch on that here first. You got some youth camps, got some team camps coming up. June, July seem to be really big for camps, especially around college athletics. What are some of the ones you guys got coming up here?
Yeah, we get all our girls coming back next week. Summer school doesn't start till the 12th, but we kind of start our 8-week period on June 5th, where we get a chance to be together 8 hours a week, and 4 in the gym, 4 in the weight room, and that's not a whole lot of time. So we love to fill it with some camp opportunities. 5th, 6th, and 7th, Andy, we got our youth camp in the afternoon, 1 to 4. That's K through 4th grade. And I know we have great numbers right now, but there's room for more. I know a lot of parents' schools just getting ready to get out, and then you have your kids around for about 3 days, and you're like, oh, man, what are we going to do with these guys? So you can always sign up. We'll take anybody. We'll take boys and girls. I know there's a lot of times little brother is there and wants to participate. We'll have most of our team there, especially for the youth camps, and it's just a lot of fun, a chance to just hang out with the girls. Get better at basketball, do it in a fun way, and just spend some time together.
Yeah,
so those are our youth ones. K through 4 is what we do there.
Awesome. Youth camp on the 5th through the 7th. You said K through 4 there. Who's putting together the practice plans for that one? I know that you guys, as coaches, circled around on that
Mac
stuff.
Does that. Yeah, Mac does that quite a bit. We're getting ready to meet on Tuesday and kind of get everything organized and planned, and then we try to let the girls run it for the most part. And do all the teaching and when we break stuff down, and it doesn't. We have some young players. The young girls basketball is getting really good. So there's always some really fun and really good players, but there's also kids that have never played before that are just trying it out, and we love that too, because you can get a spark going in somebody, and we'll make it fun whether they've played before or not played before, and have a good time anyways. So it's great, and we do 2 of those. We do the 5th through the 7th, and then 27th through the 29th are both of our youth ones. We do have a team camp on the 22nd and the 23rd. That's always hit and miss in June, just with the amount of teams that you can get. We do have teams signed up and looking forward to having them. For us as coaches, we have an elite camp on June 25th, which is for high schoolers going into 9th through 12th grade. Have had a great turnout the last couple of years with that. I've had, I think last year we were up to 90 high schoolers in there. I think we're trying to cap it this year at 75, just so we can make it as efficient and as good as possible. But looking forward to having some big-time ballers in the gym on the 25th. And then in July, we have 2 different offensive skills camps that are 2 days long, a 5th and 6th grade camp and a 7th and 8th grade camp. And those are just a little bit more, fundamental based, and try to stretch those guys a little bit with what we're teaching, and get them out of their comfort zone and learn some new things. And always good to get with the young kids.
One more question for you on the youth camp from me, coming up again on the 5th through the 7th. And if you're out there listening and want to sign your kids up for it, just go to NDSU Women's Basketball Camps.com. Got all the dates there for you and the spots to register. But how have you seen those camps grow in your time here? And I know from being at the games last year and calling the games, there were some pretty long lines for especially Al Evans and Heaven Hamlin to sign autographs for a lot of young Bison fans in the area. Obviously, as this program's continued to build, also the connection to the community and some of those younger fans.
Yeah, it's just, those things go hand in hand, and it's a lot of fun to see girls come back over and over again in the summer. You have kids that we're just going into our 5th year. There's going to be some girls that are going to be here that are going into 4th grade that we saw, as kindergartners, 4 years ago coming to our camps. And the numbers are improving, but I think the relationship with our team, and you see that they get to spend real time with them, for days at a time. And then it's always fun to see them come to the games. We invite them at the end of every camp. Hey, tell your mom and dad you want to come see us. We'll help you get the schedule. Come to our home games. Wait for us after. Get your autographs. That's all part of it. we're pretty fortunate in what we get to do. Our players are pretty fortunate that they get to play college athletics at a level like this and in a place where it's so supportive. And to be able to spend some time with the young ones and then see them at your games makes all that worthwhile. It makes it a lot of fun.
Coach, some of the news that broke back on May 17th, Dylan Geiser getting promoted there to associate head coach for NDSU women's basketball. Dylan had been on the staff for the last 4 years as an assistant coach and recruiting coordinator. What can you tell us about Dylan and what he's meant to the program, and why was he the right guy for this promotion?
Well, Dylan's been with me since he just got started in basketball. He was like a practice player for me, 10 years ago, 10 plus years ago, and has just really earned his way, Kyle, and just done everything that's ever been asked of him and has grown tremendously since he's been here in a full-time role. He's our recruiting coordinator. I couldn't be more pleased with how our recruiting's gone the last 2 to 3 years and the direction we're headed there, the kids that we're on, the kids that we're talking with, the people that are interested in our program. And then just, as he's matured as a coach, I've slowly given him more responsibility, and he's just dominated at every opportunity that he's had. And it's just something that's been earned for him. And I'm excited to do it for him and happy for him. I know he has all the respect of everybody in our department, athletic department, and especially with our team. But has a great relationship with our players too. And it's just something that, I'm one of those guys where you don't get anything. If you work really hard, then you get the opportunity to earn it. And he's definitely done that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fun kind of getting to see how he goes about his business a little bit more this past year. On the recruiting side, how have you seen, especially this last season, but even the couple of years before that, had some serious steps in the right direction, and now with the success of going to the WNIT this last year and winning a lot of games, especially in conference, and having kind of a historic year in a lot of statistical categories, how have you seen that change the recruiting landscape for the program and who you're talking to and what teams are maybe more, or what players are maybe more interested in coming to Fargo?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter the sport when, success breeds interest, and interest breeds opportunity, to talk to people and get different kinds of people interested. As we continue to win and obviously increase that and continue to go to a higher level as a program, to be able to maintain that, we got to continue to recruit higher level kids. And we think we have a phenomenal opportunity here. I think Fargo's awesome. I think we're so close to recruiting hotbed of Minnesota, and then we are trying our best. Every North Dakota kid that can help us win games and win a championship, we want them to come play for us. And it's a process, for sure. But, we're able to call anybody we want to call now and be able to have a conversation. And, people are vetting us at a level that they didn't before. And so it's a great opportunity, just to be able to broaden maybe your recruiting bed just a little bit, but really get in on some high-level kids that we know can help us in the region.
Speaking of recruiting, you did add a player a couple of weeks back. Grace Massaquoi coming over from NDSCS, added to the roster there. I know you were looking to add somebody. What made Grace the right fit? And obviously someone that's from around the region kind of helps you too.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. She's obviously, from the cities and been playing junior college just down the road, has a great feel for the area. We watched Grace in high school, was kind of new to the game, didn't really start playing seriously until 9th grade, which is phenomenal for the level that she's made it to now. She's an unbelievable athlete, Andy. Just a little bit different than what we have. We have some good athletes on our team. She's a little bit more quick twitch kid, really explosive in transition. Will be probably our best get to the basket guy immediately. And just has a real knack for finishing, right, left hand, off balance, off foot, some things that are really hard to teach that, has just come with her athleticism. She's a great kid too, hard worker. What she gives us is just a little bit different kind of athlete, and then she's also super versatile. I mean, she could really play 3 positions for us, which was what we were wanting. We knew we were probably going to sign one kid here in the spring. We didn't necessarily have a specific position of absolute need, which is awesome. So we were looking at, hey, what can potentially be great depth for us, and even challenge for big minutes at multiple positions just to raise the level of competition. And she's going to do that in a really big way.
Coach, speaking of recruiting, as we're talking about it, I was thinking about this, and I think I've heard you say before, when you recruit young women to come play at NDSU, you want them to be able to do things physically that maybe you can't coach, right? And there's always going to be those physical traits that you look for in recruits. But you also hear coaches talk a lot about, well, we got to have the right person, the right fit, personality-wise. So what are those traits you look for as a person, as a young woman, in a recruit that would make them fit into your program?
Yeah, anymore when you're going to recruit guys, it's really easy to sit on the side, Kyle, and say, oh, man, that girl's fast, or she's tall, or, man, she can jump, and maybe play the game at a certain way. There's lots of girls I like that can play the game at a high level, but are they a right fit for our program and our coaching staff, and do they like to be held accountable? Do they love basketball? Some play games because they're good at it and they have opportunity to play it, but they really don't love it deep down. And the more I do this, the more we're looking for players that love the game and want to be in the gym on their own time because what they're doing that's their passion. Those are the young people that you can really take to another level because they embrace the coaching, they embrace the opportunity to keep wanting to get better. Those things are things that I think are becoming a little more rare. But, man, when you find them, they sure are fun to coach. And we feel like we got a team real full of those kind of young ladies. It's made it a lot of fun.
And head coach Jory Collins of NDSU women's basketball here with us on the Epic Companies hotline. Just a couple more quick ones for you, Coach. First off, in once the season was done, I know you still had some practices, you had some weight sessions. The numbers pared down a little bit, as it always does with graduation and some players moving on. Where did you feel like the biggest strides were made in that couple of months stretch of getting some lifting sessions, getting some practice time where you can maybe focus on some things a little bit more one-on-one?
Yeah, we went into the postseason. We had a couple kids, dinged up. Heaven had a little knee thing and wasn't available. Leah still wasn't back. Christina's kind of hurt her shoulder a little bit in the weight room, and so didn't have a ton of time. So we really had about 6 kids in the postseason that could do everything, and it was great to be able to just kind of trim it down with those guys, really get to some deeper fundamentals in some areas to improve on. We really worked on finishing a ton, Andy, just in and around the basket, with some physicality. Those are things, it's hard in season to really dive into some of those things because you're constantly trying to think about team concepts and, how can we get ready to play a game in the spring. I love the spring because you can really just narrow it down to some really specific fundamentals of the game that you really want to improve on. And so we talked a lot about finishing and footwork and playing off 2 feet and, whatever the saying is, it takes 10,000 hours or whatever it is, how many reps it takes. We put a big dent in that this spring because we did those over and over again. And hopefully when we get back here this summer after a week or so, we'll be right back into it and can continue to build on that.
Again, the camps going on for NDSU women's basketball we touched on earlier here with head coach Jory Collins. Youth camp coming up on the 5th through the 7th of June. Also a team camp the 22nd to the 23rd. Elite camp there on the 25th of June. Wanted to focus on that one just a little bit more. I know when we talk about this with Matt Entz or Ian Dino on the football side, a lot of the players they end up bringing into their program come through a camp at some point. Is that also an aspect for you where you just want to see players that you think can play at that level and see how they compete against other players you think can compete there?
Yep, without question. I think we've signed somebody from our elite camp every November, I think, since I've been here. Kids that we're recruiting, there's kids that we've offered that we're trying to get up. There's other kids that want us to offer that want to come up and show out for us for a day, which is terrific. And I know there's lots of opportunities to go to camp, but there's no better way for us to give you a real eval than to come into our gym, let us coach you the way that we coach our team, and just see what you can do. And I've had some really frank conversations at the end of camp saying, hey, yeah, I thought you were great today. We're going to pursue you and continue to recruit you. Or I'm going to say, hey, this might not be probably a spot for you, or I think you're this level or that level. I love to be able to give the real feedback so people don't waste time. But it's a good day, and it gets pretty competitive, especially at the second half when we're playing a lot of 3-on-3 and some one side of the floor games and stuff. I always look forward to that camp every summer.
Head coach Jory Collins here with. Before we let you go, I know working out. It's baseball season here. Son's playing ball. How is the baseball season going for the family? And are they getting close to passing Dad? Anything physically yet?
Oh, God, Jet's getting close.
Okay.
He's getting stronger in the weight room, and I probably got him for another 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
And then we'll see. No, it was good. He had a great high school season. Legion stuff starting next week. We're probably most excited about going up to Newman this afternoon and rooting on the Bison here at 4 o'clock. That's what the next plans are.
Looking forward to it. Good to see you out there. We'll be there as well with that big game, NDSU and SDSU. Head coach Jory Collins, NDSU women's basketball, nice enough to join us. Coach, thanks for the time. Always good to talk with you, and hope the offseason's going well, and we'll catch up with you again down the road.
You bet. You guys have a great day.
There he is, the head coach of NDSU women's hoops, Jory Collins. Nice enough to stop by. He'll be at Newman Outdoor Field. Encourage everybody else to be out there. There you go.
I wanted to ask him if has his son passed him up in golf, because that's the one you could play, into your 70s.
That's true.
When he passes you there, then it's like, okay.
Now we got something.
Darn it.
Yeah. And 6 to 8, if Jet's really that close, I got a feeling Jory might be in the weight room a little bit more to try and keep that one at arm's reach as long as he can. We'll take a break, though. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1. Hour number 2 gets going with Tyler Merriam, plus our future crop and our feel-good news of the week.
A sports talk station that Bison Nation deserves. Bison 1660.
With the rising threat of cybersecurity attacks, you need to ensure your business is fully protected. Data loss, ransomware attacks, and other breaches can disrupt your business and damage your reputation. Consolidated Communications Cloud Secure Service safeguards your business from these attacks by securing your network, data, and applications. We proactively monitor your security to prevent intrusions before they compromise your IT systems while protecting your staff in the office or when working remotely. Visit consolidatedcommunications.com/cloudsecure to protect your business.
4 days, 4 locations. Over 1,100 used vehicles with prices slashed to sell. It only happens once a year. Corwin Automotive's used Memorial Day liquidation. Now through Monday, get the lowest prices of the year on the state's largest selection of used vehicles. All makes and models clearly marked with the liquidation prices. No negotiations necessary. This sale ends at 8 p.m. on Monday and will not be extended. Corwin Automotive's used Memorial Day liquidation. Shop online, corwinauto.com.
Here's your Red River Valley weather update on Bison 1660.
Your Friday's looking clear and sunny, a high near 85 degrees, a tough south wind 20 miles per hour, gusts as high as 32. Friday night, the temperature's going to drop to around 62 degrees, wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour.
Warmer days are finally here, and it's time to welcome in the fresh air with Minn Kota Windows Euro Series windows and doors. Upgrade your home with sleek, modern designs with superior energy efficiency that are built to last. Midwest built, Midwest tough. Guaranteed for life.
What do concussions, sports injuries, post-COVID long hauler, and chronic pain all have in common? Inflammation. At Healing with Hyperbarics, we are treating your inflammation the natural way with 100% oxygen. No referral needed. Same-day appointments and weekend availability. Now is the time to let us help you heal. Check us out on our website, healingwithhyperbarics.com, or on Facebook. Healing with Hyperbarics is your one-stop shop for total body wellness, conveniently located on 45th Street in Fargo.
It's Chris Hansen, and for years we have trusted the experts at Rick Electric. Since 1964, Rick Electric has been the go-to for residential, commercial, and industrial. And right now is a great time to consider having a Generac whole home generator installed. If the power goes out, you'll barely notice because of an automatic seamless transition. For work in Fargo, Moorhead, Hawley, Horace, Glendon, Dilworth, Kindred, and everywhere in between, it's Rick Electric at rickelectric.com.
When it comes to insurance, don't settle for just any policy. Choose to insure with Farmers Mutual of Nebraska and experience a service team that's local to you, backed by over 130 years of industry experience and financial strength. No contact centers and no runaround. Visit fmne.com to contact an agent today for a free, no-obligation quote. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska. Always alongside you.
In 1953, Bill Samuels created a simple bourbon, while Margie Samuels worked on her creative vision. A bottle hand-dipped in red wax, wrapped in a hand-cut label, filled with handcrafted bourbon that elevated flavor and remains unchanged as of today. Aromas of woody oak, caramel, and vanilla, with a taste that is sweet and balanced with caramel, vanilla, and fruity essences. Every barrel of Maker's Mark is aged to taste, not time. Maker's Mark, the star of your home bar. Please drink responsibly.
Hey, business owners. You have your banker, you have your insurance guy, but do you have your door guy? Now you do. DavTech Window Services also specializes in commercial door and window repair and replacement. DavTech is proud to be known for their excellent commercial services as on the NDSU campus. Choose the door and window experts that will deliver top-rated products as well as the experienced technicians that do it right the first time. A decade of service with a century of experience. Online at DavTechWindowServices.com. That's DavTechWindowServices.com.
Bison 1660.
I absolutely know it.
Is it 5 for fighting?
No.
Oh, I've
heard
it.
No, artist.
I've absolutely heard it before.
I'll give you
Mike, I thought we were going to get stumped.
I'll give Andy 5 more seconds for song title or artist.
I'm going to know it as soon as you say it.
Yeah, I don't have it.
You guys are stumped. I told you it was a good
know
one.
It too.
Man, I'm going to know it too.
Is it?
Bowling for Soup.
No, it's not.
Nope. Is it the artist?
Yeah.
That's the artist.
Yeah, that's not the artist.
Gosh, Jason Mraz.
Ooh.
That was a good one. I felt
guess.
that was a good guess, though. I felt good about that one. Yeah. This was a summer special. I don't know, high school?
Yeah.
Probably for you as well down there in Schuyler. Live while you're dying. Live like you're dying.
Gavin
DeGraw.
No.
Oh, I thought we had
You guys both got Live Like We're Dying.
I don't think either we should get it.
Who is it?
Chris Allen.
Chris
Chris Allen?
No. Sorry.
No, I did not. I would have never got that. Chris
I thought we had some good guesses, though.
One hit wonder. I thought Gavin DeGraw was it.
I thought you did. I thought you absolutely had
like,
it. I remember listening to quite a bit of Gavin DeGraw back then.
Had to hear the lyric.
Yeah,
the song
I don't
title.
think.
We don't get the point.
No one gets a point.
Once the song is
took
actually
way too
said
long.
in the song, then you
Well,
don't
whatever.
get the
You
point.
got a point for the one time, and it was like the first word, the Rihanna song.
Well, I'm just that good. So I
Rihanna and
apologize.
Yee.
That was not the 1 second song like Bob plays. That was about the 1 minute song. We still couldn't pull that
Chris
one out. So you were right. You stumped
Are you
us.
sure it's Chris Allen? I'm fact.
I thought I maybe had it with Jason Mraz too.
I don't even know
But
who
Gavin
Chris
DeGraw was a
Allen
very,
is.
very good guess. You had some trivia for us though
do.
regarding Michael Block, who, by the way, update on Michael Block. Last we checked, he was 1 over for the day. Also, Tom Hoagie doesn't get going till 106, so we won't be able to tell you what he's doing today. But he is 4 under through round 1. Currently, he is 5 shots off the lead of Harris English, who actually is not English.
Yeah, he's American,
He's
right?
American, yes.
Which always screws me up.
And then there is an Englishman who's second, and his name is Harry Hall.
Who
So
I've
Harry
never
and
heard of.
Harris are at the top of the league.
Harry Hall looks like a retired tight end. I saw him playing the other day.
Oh, really?
He looks big. Although golfers are small. Do you know Rory McIlroy's like 5'9"?
No way.
I knew he was
Yes.
shorter than me. I didn't know he was
Yes.
5'9"
He's
short.
5'9".
How about Jordan Spieth? I think he's like 6
I don't know.
foot.
I thought Rory was like
5'11".
6'2". Tiger's 6'2". Rory's like 5'9".
Tiger's taller.
Okay, you ready for the trivia?
I'm ready for the trivia.
Okay. This actually comes courtesy of Cole Jurek.
Hey, Michael Block's even for the day.
Hey.
Way to go, Michael Block. This is Michael Block trivia.
Michael Block trivia. Cole texted me this. He heard us talking about Michael Block in the first segment. So obviously you know Michael Block has a top 15 in a major. You could probably guess that's his only one. Okay, so he has one top 15. The question is, who has more top 15s in a major? Michael Block or Max Homa?
I mean, the obvious answer is
I bet they're tied.
Max Homa, but
I bet
the
they're
fact that
tied.
you're asking the question tells me it's probably Michael Block.
Tied at
So
1.
you're going Michael Block?
I'm going to go Michael Block.
Correct, Micah Bindi.
Tied.
at 1. Max Homa
Well,
has...
that's a trick question. You can't ask
There's
who's
a
got
trick.
more. It's a tie.
I expected a trick
Well, I couldn't
question
just
from
say
Cole
who has
Jurek.
more, because then you're going to assume it's Block. Otherwise, I wouldn't be asking the question. So that's
You
why
should have said it in a multiple choice option.
Okay, sorry,
Max Homa.
Micah.
Michael Block, or a tie.
See, you forgot to add this to the list. He's an expert at making trivia questions.
So Max Homa has one top. He finished tied for 13th in
The
last
guy
year's
you
PGA.
love to pick in all of our PGA picks.
I know.
Giveaways
Now that I got that
and
stat,
PGA
I don't know if I'm ever
drafts.
taking Homa again.
And Homa, as many as dude he's in his 40s, I believe. Michael Block.
46.
46, mid to late 40s.
Same
PGA
amount
Pro.
Same amount of top 15s.
Will not be a top 15 finish this week for Michael Block.
No.
He's still in last place, but only by a stroke. And
What's the cut line at?
I think it's at even.
Okay, he's got a ways to go.
Got some work to do on the back nine here for sure. But for him, and he had good perspective yesterday when he was asked about it. He was like, of course he gets done. Everyone wants to ask him, so what went wrong today? And his answer right away is, just it really wasn't my day. This is, I'm going to go home and see my boys after this. He was kind of emotional about that. He's like, it's been a crazy ride. I'm very happy and fortunate to keep doing it. Would love to, play in more events, but this is I didn't play that well, but honestly, this is probably more realistic as what's going to happen.
Well, what he said, I think everyone who's golfed at least a significant amount can relate to what he's saying. Now, we can't relate to shooting one over at a PGA Championship and finishing top 15, but he talked about, he's like, there's certain days where your good shots are bad and your bad shots are awful, and
or even your good shots, you're blocked by a tree that the limbs are hanging over. You can't shoot it.
Exactly. I've had those days. You're like, I made solid contact, I hit the ball well, and it gets a bad kick, it gets a bad roll, whatever. It's just slightly offline. You end up in a tree, you end up in a bush, whatever. And on other days, it's like, okay, my bad shots all get the right kick. They all have, I hit it in the trees, but I have a perfect window out of it. Whatever. Just seems like golf is that way, and there's no scientific explanation for it. It just seems like for whatever reason it happens, and that obviously happened to him yesterday, unfortunately.
Although, did you see the shot he did hit?
That bounce in the water?
Off the bridge. He hit one. It was drive on one of the holes yesterday. Way to the right, hits the cart path, rolls up onto a bridge. So it's on. I don't know if it's concrete or whatever.
He also had one that he hit in the water and it skipped out.
Okay.
So he had a couple lucky bounces.
Well, this one landed on a bridge, and it stayed on the bridge.
Well, could have gone on the
water.
water.
Not very lucky, I guess.
It is lucky, kind of.
Hits it off the bridge, over a couple of trees, and it landed about 5 feet from the hole.
Lucky.
No, that's a great shot.
It was like a gravel bridge, too. It wasn't concrete.
Gravel.
It was like loose gravel on the bridge that he's
tough shot.
hitting his shot off of.
Oh, yeah. It was an incredible shot.
His plus 11
might be one of the best shots of the entire tournament.
Yeah, he could have easily been 15 over.
Yeah, and even if he didn't make the cut, what you really wanted here was, can you just be around the cut? Like 4 or 5 over. Okay, we got some hope. Can we watch? Wasn't that way, unfortunately. But Tom Hoagie is in it, 4 under right now, and he gets his second round going right after our show gets done. Well, let's end things there in hour number 1, which was brought to you by Rick Electric. Commercial or residential, they get you covered for all your electrical needs at Rick Electric. Online, rickelectric.com, and serving this area for over 56 years. They brought you this first hour of the program today on a Feel Good Friday. Hour 2 gets going next. Tyler Merriam, voice of the Jacks, will stop by. NDSU, SDSU, winner goes on, loser goes home. Preview that with Tyler when we come back next on The Insiders.
The unofficial start to summer is here, and Family Fare has Memorial Day savings to help start the season off right. Save on 80% lean ground beef, only $2.47 per pound, 3-pound chub, the perfect blend to make hamburgers. Whole seedless juicy watermelon is only $3.99 each with digital coupon limit 2. And Gatorade, 28 ounce, are 3 for $4. Stock up on these savings to make this holiday one to remember. Family Fare in your neighborhood.
When it's time to find a realtor, word of mouth is important. And Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty is a name Bison Nation says often. Todd has helped everyone from coaches and administrators to broadcasters and former players and their families buy homes in the FM area. So many in Bison Nation trust Todd to buy and sell their homes, and you can too. Call Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty today or visit him at 4832 Amber Valley Parkway in Fargo. Todd is a proud partner and the preferred realtor of NDSU Athletics. Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty. Moving the herd, one home at a time.
For decades, Nodak Insurance Company has been serving our state's residents in good times and challenging times. We come together for the greater good, from simple acts of kindness to company-wide efforts that make a difference in our community. It's who we are, rooted in North Dakota and ready to serve when it matters most. Nodak Insurance Company, Agents with answers.
Dakota Refrigeration, now known as DRI, has been serving Minnesota, the Dakotas, and Montana for over 4 decades. Locally owned and operated since 1974, DRI is a full-service source for your refrigeration, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and electrical service needs. From the entryway to the kitchen, from hot to cold, from dreary to bright, DRI has you covered. DRI, formerly Dakota Refrigeration, with locations in Fargo, Bismarck, and Minot, online at dacref.com.
Horn Plastics is celebrating 40 years of top-quality products and service. And to show their appreciation, they're offering some unbeatable deals. Now until May 31st, get 40% off all install labor and 20% off select materials. Take advantage of this limited-time offer and upgrade with the high-performance trailer and dump truck body liner, including the popular Super Slide bed liners. Don't miss out on these amazing savings. Visit hornplastics.com today. Horn Plastics, excellence for 40 years and counting.
4 days, 4 locations, over 1,100 used vehicles with prices slashed to sell. It only happens once a year. Corwin Automotive's used Memorial Day liquidation. Now through Monday, get the lowest prices of the year on the state's largest selection of used vehicles. All makes and models clearly marked with the liquidation prices. No negotiations necessary. This sale ends at 8 p.m. on Monday and will not be extended. Corwin Automotive's used Memorial Day liquidation. Shop online, corwinauto.com.
Spring in the savings at Eyes on Broadway and Rexine Family Eye Care. Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Rexine, your downtown eye doc. This month, save big with 10% off your first pair of glasses and 30% off additional pairs. Everyday wear, computer wear, sun wear, we will find what's right for you. Why choose just one pair? Get a pair for every occasion.
Set up an appointment with Dr. Michael Rexine or myself, Dr. Vanessa Manlove, at michaelrexine.com, with locations in both Fargo and Mayville.
Eyes on Broadway. You will see the difference.
It's the Cash for Cars event at Gateway Chevrolet. All makes, all models. Sell your ride today. Whether it has 50,000 miles or 150,000 miles, Gateway Chevrolet will buy it. Cars, trucks, and SUVs get cash today. Gateway Chevrolet needs good, clean, used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Sell your ride today, whether it has 50,000 miles or 150,000 miles. Gateway will buy it. The Cash for Cars buying event today at Gateway Chevrolet in Fargo.
KQWB West Fargo, KPFX HD3 Kindred, and K224FD Fargo. Bison 1660, powered by Gateway Chevrolet, Cadillac, Nissan, and Hyundai in Fargo.
And here's what you need to know. NBA playoffs, the Eastern Conference Finals will go to a 6th game as the Celtics, avoiding elimination with a 110-97 win against the Miami Heat. They were on fire from beyond the three-point arc, hitting 16 three-pointers, and 4 of their 5 starters had 20 or more points. In contrast, Miami didn't have a single player hit the 20 mark. The Heat ahead in this series 3-2. Game 6 set for Miami tomorrow evening. In NBA news, The Athletic is reporting that LeBron James might need surgery this offseason after he played with a torn tendon in his foot during the playoffs. And in the NHL playoffs, Western Conference Finals, the Stars avoid the sweep with a 3-2 overtime win against the Golden Knights. Joe Pavelski with the game winner in sudden death. Vegas ahead in the series 3-1. I'm Kevin Wire.
This is The Insiders, taking you inside the lines and behind the scenes of NDSU and around the region.
I hang heavy on your thoughts because you are the Bison gods.
That should be a penalty.
The Insiders.
Do you have any other questions?
You know it.
The Insiders are presented by Proseed. Need seed? Think Proseed.
Okay, so what are you saying?
These guys do an unbelievable job, and, tune into The Insiders.
I did have one. I do not apologize for taking it out of the 6-pack.
First thing you should know about us is that we have people everywhere.
The Insider. The Insider. The Insider.
The prices were that shocking. I wasn't listening. I'm an old soul.
Now, here are the Insiders.
Well, we're waiting.
Hour number 2 of the program here with you on a Feel Good Friday. We're feeling pretty good. Somebody else is feeling good. DeAndre Hopkins, who's now a free agent.
Or is he not feeling good?
I think he's feeling good.
He gets to choose where he wants to play.
Choose where he wants to go. Just released by the Arizona Cardinals. Breaking news. gets the pick where he wants to go, and I don't think it's really gone that well for him in Arizona. Kyler's a good quarterback. He's hurt right now, though. And they've fallen short of expectations. Had that year where they were the last undefeated team until week 8 or 9.
Like 2 years ago.
But then, it was 2 years ago. And then it's fallen apart, and they haven't had success in the playoffs or late in the season. So he is a free agent and going to be highly sought after. I think he's 30, 31, but he can still play.
Where's he going to go?
I feel like Kansas City. They need a receiver. Need a number one. Got a bunch of young guys. Obviously, Travis Kelce's their number one.
Rid of, Juju Smith-Schuster,
yeah, he's with the
correct?
Patriots.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Marquez Valdez-Scantling. You got Sky Moore in a second year. They drafted a receiver in the second round, I believe, but they don't really have that dude right now. And DeAndre Hopkins, I think, fits their mold. Not super fast, but definitely a guy you can throw the ball up to. I think him and Patrick Mahomes would be a pretty dangerous pair. If DeAndre Hopkins decides to go there, you think Buffalo would make sense? You said Dallas.
No, Micah said Dallas.
Micah said Dallas.
I said Minnesota. Said he wants to play with a quarterback that loves the game. Who loves the game more than Kirko?
Nobody. No one loves it more than Kirk. Kirko, baby. Kirko change. Justin Jefferson, DeAndre Hopkins, Jordan Addison, let's go. TJ Hawkinson. Make it happen.
Sounds like a Super Bowl.
Darn right. I don't see a loss on the schedule, especially with DeAndre Hopkins. Let's go over to our Epic Companies hotline, though, and bring on the voice of the Jacks, Tyler Merriam. Nice enough to join us here in hour number 2 of the program as NDSU and SDSU set to do battle once again for the 5th time in 8 days. This time, though, it's winner take all because it is an elimination game in the Summit League tournament. Sir, great to have you back on with us once again. Appreciate the time. You're ready for today. You get to see my smiling face up in the booth again.
That's always a perk, but I tell you what, listen to the last 2 minutes that you guys just went on. I mean, there's nothing that can beat that the rest of the day. I'm telling you that right there.
Darn right. Where's DeAndre Hopkins going?
I have no idea. I'm just waiting for you two to tell me.
Okay. We will. We are the insiders. We are insiders on everything.
Exactly
we'll figure it out.
right.
You know.
We'll figure it out soon enough.
I got sources, at the very least. Yes. Looking forward to this one today. 4:05 first pitch there at Newman Outdoor Field. Kind of similar feelings for NDSU yesterday, and I assume for your guys' squad today, as we faced SDSU in the first round, lost 17-4. I asked Tyler Oakes what went wrong. He said, well, basically everything. For you guys last night, it was kind of the same way. Compilation of errors, some errors in the field, some wild pitches, some mistakes on the base paths, but just what went wrong last night against a really, really good ORU squad?
Certainly wasn't a game where 1 or 2 plays would have changed anything. I'll
Probably not.
You that.
Maybe.
It was a dominant performance by Oral Roberts, which again, not surprising in general. We know that that is a dominant team. I mean, both Tyler Oakes and Rob Bishop have told me throughout the course of the year that they're the best team, top to bottom, that either one of them has seen in the Summit League during their times. And Bishop's been here 7 years, and Oakes has been around the league for more than a decade. So that's high praise from those two guys. Or Roberts is just really good, and like you said, SDSU made 4 errors in 1 inning, tied a Division I mark for futility with 6 errors in the game, and Oral Roberts got rolling, and you can't give that team. You rarely can you give any team, but particularly Oral Roberts, you can't give them opportunities, just hand them runs. And the Jacks balked a run in early, and then had an opportunity to get out of what turned into a big inning and dropped a ball on what would have been a tag for the 3rd out of the frame, then committed consecutive errors right after that handed ORU a couple of runs, and they're going to get their runs anyway. You can't hand that to them if you want to have any shot. The Jacks did, and so now, like you said, you got to turn around and regroup, because as wild as this sounds, the Jacks have played 2 games, and their net run differential in this tournament is 0.
That is crazy. I wanted to go right there, Tyler. I was going to ask, and I know it's kind of along the same lines, but have you ever seen something like that with such a contrast between 2 games? SDSU puts up 17 in the first game, then 2 in the second. You give up 15 to Oral Roberts. Have you ever seen something like that in back-to-back days?
I have. It's odd. I actually saw it in back-to-back games in the Summit League tournament. Back about a decade ago, this tournament actually had the format where the game last night and the game today were actually played on the same day. They were back-to-back because the tournament was only 3 days. Now it's 4. And the Jacks played Oral Roberts in the semis. Ironically enough, Blake Trinan, who would go on to have a very nice career in the majors, got absolutely shellacked. 14 hits and 14 runs in 4 innings. Oral Roberts blew the barn doors off SDSU, put up over 20. The Jacks had to come back right away, fell behind 2-0 in the first inning to Oakland, and then put up 20 the rest of the game and beat Oakland 20-6, I believe was the final, and got back into the championship game. And I know that because we did a bunch of research on seeing how many times the Jacks had given up this many runs or scored this many runs in the postseason, and I remember doing those games in Tulsa. That's the only other time I can ever remember, Kyle, seeing anything anywhere like this. And it's wild, it's crazy, and it's also one of those things that, again, the sport of football, and you know this so well, you get so chomping at the bit when you have a bad loss where you want to get back out there, and that week just grinds and it takes forever. In a sport like baseball, you turn right around the next day, so you have to have a short memory. The Bison had it yesterday. The Jacks will have to have it today.
Really only been one close game in the tournament so far. Obviously, SDSU beat NDSU handily. Oral Roberts is the same thing to Omaha, and then the ORU win over SDSU there last night. The close one being NDSU and Omaha going to extras. Took 12 to decide it. The Bison up 6-1, end up giving up some runs late. Parker Pitts comes in the extra innings and gets that thing done. But the main storyline from that one, outside of NDSU getting the win and surviving, is that Parker Pitts did have to go and throw 3 innings there. I would assume maybe it's Max Loban today for NDSU. We'll see when we get to Newman Outdoor Field. But what does the pitching situation look like for the Jacks? I know they haven't thrown Bourassa or Sundquist yet.
Yeah, I think that is the one thing. If you look at this on paper, you say SDSU probably has a little edge, because they have a guy who was in their weekend rotation throughout the course of the year in Jake Goebel, who hasn't thrown yet. And they have their 2 guys in the back end, the 2 horses, in Sundquist and Bourassa, who haven't thrown yet either. And that's no shade on NDSU. Lovan, while he has struggled lately, I thought threw well overall against SDSU last Saturday. So we assume it'll be the same starting matchup we saw last Saturday. We don't know that for a fact. We're obviously going to have to wait and see. But if it is, then that's a 3-1 game. The Jacks lead with 1 out in the 6th, and then everything kind of exploded, and the Jacks didn't use their top guys out of the bullpen because of the situation. Same thing NDSU did. You're trying to save guys on that last day on Saturday. So I think there is a little edge maybe to SDSU in that regard. On the flip side, though, while Lovan has struggled, he's pitched in this tournament before, where this is a new experience for Goebel, and so there is something to be said for that as well. But if the Jacks do have anything they can take stock in, I think it would be the fact that they do have a little better setup in that regard, and that not that NDSU can't go back to one of its star relievers, or certainly a guy like Pitts, but they have thrown in this tournament where arguably the top 3 guys the Jacks would use today, none of them have made an appearance yet in this tournament.
Tyler, you've seen these 2 teams play each other now 4 times. It's going to be the 5th time here in just over a little over a week. I know the series was a little bit different, a week ago, because they were both kind of locked into that 2 and 3. But from the games you've seen and throughout this season, outside of the obvious, what is the key when these 2 teams match up?
Well, I think they're really evenly matched overall. I think both teams have a lot of power. The Jacks have a little more home run power overall. The Bison hit a few more doubles. NDSU probably is a little faster in the lineup, top to bottom. I really think a lot of it comes back to you can't give up free bases. I think these 2 teams are fairly evenly matched. The Bison are a little bit deeper in their staff, but that might not be a factor today. I really think it's the free bases, and whether that's additional walks. And the Jacks have done a very good job against the Bison, particularly lately, of working the count and drawing some additional walks, which is somewhat uncharacteristic of a Tyler Oaks team. And the other side, of course, is the errors. And NDSU played fast and loose with the baseball on Wednesday, and that was a big part of its undoing. The Jacks have had a lot of issues defensively over the course of the year. They played very well with the glove on Wednesday, and then obviously it turned into a nightmare last night. You can't give up free bases, and you feel like if one team makes a couple of mistakes, throws a key wild pitch, that could be a factor. So I think whoever plays the cleaner game will win today.
How does either one of these teams do to Oral Roberts what hasn't been done, beat them twice in conference play on Saturday?
Yeah. That's a very good question, and I think I think NDSU was a little better set up for it from a pitching staff standpoint than South Dakota State would be, because let us say that NDSU gets through this, the Bison would in theory have Pitts be able to come back on Saturday. And, the other thing, too, is Feeney didn't throw 90-some pitches on Wednesday. I would think he'd be able to come back on Saturday and give you some innings potentially as well. From a Jackrabbits standpoint, Arbogast could maybe come back tomorrow, but to try to find a way to beat the Bison twice with what SDSU may or may not have left on its staff would be a tall, tall task. Oral Roberts is just so good, and it doesn't mean that you can't beat them, but to beat them twice would be almost improbable. I mean, they'd have to make some mistakes, and they just don't typically do that. And so I really don't know what the answer is, because I don't know if either team has enough at this point. It's one thing at the start of a series, but working through the tournament as these teams have, I don't know if there's enough in either one's tanks to be able to do it twice on Saturday potentially.
And you brought up a really good point last night. I was listening to you for a little bit. I'm going to give you some credit here on this one. You had a good point there on the broadcast was ORU's not even going to be an at-large team. I mean, you talk about how good they are. Longest streak of wins in the country. Got a guy with a 40-game hitting streak right now, and just been hitting the cover off the baseball and doing everything well. And if they don't win the Summit League tournament, they're not even going to be an at-large team, which is just crazy in the Summit League and in the sport in general that a team this good wouldn't be considered for an at-large bid.
Yeah, 45-11, and they're on the outside looking in. And again, a lot of that's just because when you really get down to it, outside of Oral Roberts, the Summit League in baseball just doesn't have the reputation. And this is something I know Erin Johnston and Don Plitzewhite when she was there, and then certainly Amy Williams before that at USD talked a lot about in women's basketball, is that you've got to get the rest of the league elevated. And Jory Collins has certainly done a very good job of getting the Bison women's basketball program going. But if you don't have the league from top to bottom bring its game up, it's hard to get at-large bids, and it's hard to put yourself in a better seating spot just overall. Oral Roberts, I mean, again, as good as they are, they might only be a 4 seed if they make the tournament. Maybe they squeak into the 3 line, maybe. We'll see. And let me tell you, nobody wants to play them as a 4 seed if they're a 1. I mean, can you imagine a host getting them coming to the park? I mean, nobody wants that, but that could be what happens. But that's just the nature of it. With the northern schools and the situation that it is, it's just not a too big league right now, even with how good Oral Roberts is, and it's disappointing. And certainly from an ORU standpoint, they look back to that Dallas Baptist series in March, because Dallas Baptist is on paper the best team that they've played all year. The only other possibility would be Oklahoma State, who they beat twice, but those are midweek games, and that sometimes is hard for the committee to fully judge. If they get at least one against Dallas Baptist, certainly if they win that series, it's probably a different discussion. But they just don't have the resume, unfortunately, which is a shame for Ryan Fulmer's team because they are so, so good.
Voice of the Jacks, Tyler Merriam, nice enough to give us some time here on the Epic Companies Hotline. We'll see you up there in the booth, and I will keep you updated on the DeAndre Hopkins news. I don't think we heard anything yet, but when we do, you'll be the first to know.
I have the Andy Rickoff notifications already marked on my phone, so I can't wait, my friend. I will be hanging on every word and every ding on my phone to see where he ends up.
I'll let you know. There he goes. Tyler Merriam, the man, the voice of the SDSU Jackrabbits. By the way, our text line, 701-476-1660, our good friend Pete in Fergus Falls, SDSU fan that listens to the program. He'll chime in every once in a while. It's had a good year for Pete in Fergus Falls here. Very good year. He says Parker Pitts from Volga, South Dakota is the real deal. I would agree with you. News from Volga, very small town there in South Dakota. Said a lot of great athletes in small towns. Pete from Fergus Falls, absolutely. So, Pete, thanks for the text in, and Parker Pitts. Man, I'd love for him to be pitching in this game. He's South Dakota guy. Small town against SDSU would have been really cool for me. And he might. Again, we don't know for sure what's going to happen there. Assume Max Lovin gets the start today. Has pitched well in the tournament before. We'll see what happens there. But thanks for the text into our text line from Pete there in Fergus Falls, 701-476-1660. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Hour number 2 means we've got our future crop of Bison and our feel-good news of the week to get to yet. How about we do the future crop when we come back? Do you have any more Michael Block trivia questions, though?
No more.
No more from Cole Jarek? Nothing left. Okay. Well, then let's do it. Future crop of Bison on the other side next.
The most complete Bison coverage in the region. Your Bison Nation station. Bison 1660.
So most companies claim they have good people, good product, good customer service, but the question is how often. We go the extra mile to take care of our dealers and our growers, and more importantly, their families and their customers.
Proceed tries to bring a family-like experience. Farmers, we want to understand what their challenges are. We also want to bring products to them that help them overcome those challenges so that they can be as successful as possible.
Need seed, think Proceed.
proseed.net. Great seed at a reasonable price.
4 days, 4 locations, over 1,100 used vehicles with prices slashed to sell. It only happens once a year. Corwin Automotive's used Memorial Day liquidation. Now through Monday, get the lowest prices of the year on the state's largest selection of used vehicles. All makes and models clearly marked with the liquidation prices. No negotiations necessary. This sale ends at 8 p.m. on Monday and will not be extended. Corwin Automotive's used Memorial Day liquidation. Shop online, corwinauto.com.
If there's one thing I know about farmers, it's that they are resilient. This is Scott Zelandic with Cornerstone Bank. Farmers are known to rise to ever-changing challenges, whether it be higher land prices and rent costs, risk management, or diversification. Cornerstone Bank offers an experienced team that you can turn to. If you're looking to save, borrow, or spend, Cornerstone Bank will find the best financial options for business, ag operations, and your personal needs. Come see us at Cornerstone Bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Attention all electricians! Are you ready for your next challenge? Theraldson Ethanol is currently seeking an experienced and skilled E&I technician to join their team in Castleton. You'll be responsible for maintaining, troubleshooting, and repairing a variety of electrical and instrumentation equipment. You'll need to have strong analytical skills, technical aptitude, excellent attention to detail, and a commitment to safety. If you have experience in E&I maintenance and an electrical journeyman license, we want to hear from you. Apply now at theraldsonethanol.com. Are you a business owner with remodel plans in the near future? When it comes to your electrical needs, you only need one call, and that's to JDP Electric. JDP's team of professionals will work with you closely and are able to follow a strict timeline to get your project done when it's needed. That way, you don't have to worry about closing your doors and missing any customers or sales. Put your company in the best hands by calling JDP right away. Call 701-232-1991 today to experience the JDP difference or online at jdpelectric.net.
Here's your Red River Valley weather update on Bison 1660.
Your Friday's looking clear and sunny, a high near 85 degrees, a tough south wind 20 miles per hour, gusts as high as 32. Friday night, the temperature's going to drop to around 62 degrees, wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour.
Warmer days are finally here, and it's time to welcome in the fresh air with Minn Kota Windows Euro Series windows and doors. Upgrade your home with sleek, modern designs with superior energy efficiency that are built to last. Midwest built, Midwest tough. Guaranteed for life.
Bison 1660.
Timberlake, sexy back.
I said first.
Half point each.
Because you went with the artist first, I went with the song first.
That was
sexy
a
back
good
right
race.
before you.
That was a good race.
See, that's the one. When he's not here, this is what you play.
You had this Seven Nation Army. Seven Nation Army.
Much chance. He wouldn't play songs yesterday either, or 2 days ago. Whenever the day was, you were gone.
Yeah, you didn't play any.
Yeah.
Now when you weren't here.
I appreciate that. You should have. I guarantee Andy would have only got like 1 point.
I still wouldn't have gotten many of them. Yeah. You probably would have called in from the golf course.
I should have.
You could have. Any more golf tournaments? We done?
JV is
season?
done. JV season's done already. Isn't that crazy?
Season in the books, huh?
April, like late April to late May. Pretty quick season,
Yeah.
especially when the first 2 or 3 weeks you can't even play.
Which means you're going to be out on the course a whole lot more the next couple of weeks.
I'm gonna try.
There you go.
Keep punishing myself.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm
last
close.
weekend.
I feel like I'm close.
Oh, I figured a few things out. I haven't been on the course yet though since last time out.
I just got to keep playing. I got to figure out the short game. I keep putting it too. Like I keep hitting the shot I want. It's right on line, but it's just too deep every time. I gotta start. No, I'm talking like the 30-yard shots.
Oh, okay.
Can't club down.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about like middle of the fairway.
No, I'm talking about like a 30, 40-yard shots, the little pitch shots.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I got to start opening up the club face and spinning it. Just going for the spin.
I saw it was a stat that even Tiger Woods misses the green from 100 yards in like 30% of the time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't feel so bad. Kind of like Tiger Woods now.
I don't know if it's 30, but it's higher than you would think.
Mm-hmm.
And PGA players in general miss the green from like 100 or 125 yards, like 30. Yeah, I think 30% of the time, or something like that, which is crazy. You would never think that, but it's because you think about it when you watch it on TV. They're not going to show you the guy that blades it over the green. Not that happens a lot, but or the guy that shanks it into the bunker. They don't.
Every once in a while, they show a few of those, or somebody catches video of it.
Yeah. Michael Block bladed one
at a couple of
30 yards past the green.
Michael Block had a couple of those ones. By the way, update for you: Michael Block, who was at even on the day, is now 3 over on the day. So
14
ballooned
over.
to 14 over. Still a better day than he had yesterday.
Still better than I could do by about 50 shots.
He was 11 over yesterday. I mean 14 over in the first 5 holes.
If I was 14
So-
over through 6 on a PGA course, I'd be like, all right, I'm playing pretty good today.
Yeah, I'm having a good day out there. Let's fire it up though. It's about 12:30 here on a Friday. We've been doing this for a couple of months now, getting into the nitty gritty. A couple weeks deep into this now with our future crop of Bison.
The Bison have had plenty of talented players all over the field.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Every season brings a chance for the next generation of Bison to make their impact, and a new harvest of impact players for Bison Nation.
Doc, I'm from the future.
Here's the future crop of Bison.
Brought to you by CNH Industrial. Another edition of the future crop of Bison for you. We pick a couple of players, one for each of us, every week, that you haven't maybe heard of yet, but you will be hearing of either this upcoming season or in a couple of years. Just a name to put in the memory bank for this upcoming season for NDSU football. On the football field, let's do a little recap just real quick. First week was just me and Micah. You went Brinka Panu. I went with Finn Diggins. Week 2, Kyle got in on this with Marcus Gully. I went Sam Young, which is still a good pick.
No.
Toby Anena for Micah.
I had fans tell me that was an illegal pick.
Not illegal at all.
Illegal
As
pick.
It started as barely played. Sorry, you guys just didn't
Special
see
teams.
it. Oh, you're blind to the obvious on that one. Week 3, Chris Harris. This was Micah starting his run of receivers.
How many of you picked? Like 7?
I think I picked like 3 receivers.
Yeah. Chris Harris. I went with Kelton McCaslin, defensive end. Truman Waremeyer, Fargo Davies, Kyle's pick. Fullback.
And then he's shined in the spring game.
He did shine in the spring
Like
game.
9 catches.
That
Go
was
Eagles,
right before
baby.
the spring game. Yep.
Yeah, Davies.
And you just know Tyler Rowe well. You know fullback.
Yeah, it's just
getting.
always.
And he's had a few. He's been on the field before, but we allowed that one for sure. Week 4, Micah, another receiver. Carson Hagerly, West Fargo product. Was
Real
surprised
big-
with the
real big
Davies
reach
guy going
there.
with a Packers player, but I get NDSU over high school elite.
Not too much of a rival. I'm not gonna pick a Shanley kid.
Yeah, it wasn't like Shanley or something. I went Carson Williams, tight end, who also showed out in the spring game. This was after the spring game, kind of reaction to it. Looked good.
Yeah, he did.
And then Marcus Shepard, the transfer from Bowling Green at cornerback, was Kyle's pick. That was a good pick. Older guy, one of the more veteran players, but a transfer into the program. Probably haven't heard his name before. Week 5, Ryan Jones, the safety from Frisco, Texas, for Kyle. Ian took Reese Sheldon. I like that pick. Freshman from Cloquet, Minnesota. A defensive back as well. I went with Bryce Friday, offensive lineman from Wisconsin. And then last week, Kyle going John Gores, redshirt freshman wide receiver from Shanley.
That's a homer pick.
Homer pick.
I stand by it.
Ian went with Sharmar Brown.
Micah
Ian went
picked
with
Sharmar Brown. I have
Brown.
text to prove it. Evidence.
And I got Reggie King. So there you go. Reggie King. That's it's kind of a throwdown for everybody on that one. But another week means a couple more picks of our future crop of Bison. Who wants to go first?
I went first last week.
I'll go first.
You got it, Mike. You did pump this one up. You told us earlier this is the best one of all.
It's kind of funny, but it's kind of not because it's
You
true.
better have
Because
it.
you're going to be seeing this guy, and I don't think you'll see him this year, but you will be seeing him in the future. Now, look, we've gone offense, all of us. Obviously, Mike has got 100 receivers, which I understand. There's a lot of good receivers, a lot of young ones. We've all gone defense. What's the side of the ball we have not gone on yet?
Coaching.
We haven't gone coaching. There's like a third phase in football they talk about sometimes. I don't know. You guys ever heard of it?
Special teams, I believe.
Special teams. Thank you, Andy. Special team. We have not talked special teams, okay? Special teams players are people too, okay? Now, we don't talk about them a ton, especially the specialists. I'm not talking about like
Ask
guys that
Ben
run down on
LeCompte.
kickoff or punt return. Like I'm talking about the actual specialists. Here's some trivia for you, and I know you guys know this. Who's the current long snapper for NDSU?
The one Hunter Brozio.
Hunter Brozio, a fullback. Anyone know his grade? I know it's hard
I'm
with
just
COVID.
going to guess here. It's a senior.
He's a senior.
Oh, okay.
Good call, which means future crop. Who are we looking at long snapper? The position that no one ever talks about, because if you're talking about them, it's usually because they screwed up, right? It's a key position. So I'm going with redshirt freshman from Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin, Caleb Bowers.
Okay.
The long snapper. Caleb Bowers. It's a bit like I said, it's an underappreciated position. You only talk about it when they mess up. By the way, fun stat on Caleb, when he signed, I didn't even know people did this. I think I already told you guys this, so I won't make you guess. He was a number 36 ranked long snapper in the country. Apparently, people rank long snappers as recruits. He was number 36 as a recruit. Again, probably won't see him this year. I would assume it'd still be Hunter Brosio. Maybe he comes along, and maybe they're like, Hunter, you don't have to do that anymore. But either way, you're going to be seeing Caleb Bowers at some point in his career, probably next year. So I'm going long snapper.
Yeah, only one of them on the field.
Only one of them.
Probably not going to be on there much this year, if at all, other than maybe injury. Who knows what happens with Brosio. Could have a backup. But in the future, there you go. You got the long snapper.
You could argue that
first long snapper taken.
That he's the highest ranked position player and on NDSU's roster in the entire country. Do you think NDSU has the 35th best of anything in the country?
Be tough.
I'm trying to think of what Mackay was. I don't think he was that high.
A receiver?
Yeah.
No, all of the receivers of all of the teams in the country.
For sure, he was top 100
in his class.
But if you're top, if you're number 35,
but I'm talking.
I know it's higher.
If you're 35 in anything, you're probably a 4-star recruit, 3-star at the minimum. NDSU's got a couple 3-stars, I think, but
it's pretty good.
Kyle got a high-ranked recruit on his team
great
now.
Pick.
It's a great pick. Specialist.
And
again, you're hoping we never hear from him.
Correct.
Because if you do, that's usually a bad thing.
I think you'll hear him over the PA. Don't they usually say who's snapping and who's holding on field goals? So that might be the only. Hopefully, that's the only time you hear. Or maybe he makes a couple killer tackles
on the broadcast.
You
You're
guys
on
are
Bison
jealous of
1660.
my pick. I can
that was
tell.
a good pick.
Thank you.
Solid pick. Grabbing the specialist. I don't mind it. That was good. First long snapper take.
I had to go different.
There you go. You got a fullback and a long snapper. Eclectic group.
Only long snapper on the roster.
Micah, want to go second?
I'll go second. I'll be right in the middle. NDSU, they've had some great talent throughout the years. Maybe. Obviously, throughout many years.
Won some championships, so yeah.
Won some championships.
I would
but
say,
Lakeland, Florida. Anybody remember Kyle? I believe he was your teammate for a few years.
Well, then he's definitely the future.
I know this because you asked me. Trey Dempsey.
Yeah, Trey Dempsey. He was from Lakeland, Florida. Well, I have a guy that's from Lakeland, Florida. Plays defensive back as well. 5'10", 175. Tremaine Turner. Now, he'll be coming in.
Okay.
3-year starter out of Lake Gibson High School. Played defensive back. 9 pass breakups, 1 interception, and 2 blocked field goals his senior year. You want to talk about the guy that can make special teams impact, possibly? Well, 2 blocked field goals in 1 season in his senior year. Maybe we see Tremaine Turner on special teams, so future cop possibly for this year, work his way into special teams, and then getting in the defensive back group maybe a little bit later throughout his NDSU career. That's my pick, future cop of Bison, Tremaine Turner.
Out of where?
Lakeland, Florida.
Lakeland, Florida.
The water's pretty good down there, I hear.
They got a pretty big lake around Florida down there, I've heard. A lot of shoreline in that state. Obviously, a state that they've gone to. Yeah, whatever. I don't mind the pick. It's a good one. Going defense again for you. Staying away from receiver. I thought this was going to be all receiver for you.
I could pick all the receivers and then I'll be right.
No, we do have one.
Oh, there's a couple.
There's one obvious one left.
There's at least a couple left out there. I'm going to go on the offensive side of the ball. And for most of my picks, I've mentioned, I'm trying to get guys that can going to contribute this upcoming season. And I really think a lot of the guys I've named, Reggie King, I think will play some this year. Obviously, Sam Young, I think will play. And Carson Williams, I think will be out there. I'm going to go for one that maybe is a little bit more of the true future crop, maybe just planted in the dirt this season for NDSU, incoming freshman. But someone I think could be a great weapon down the road for Tyler Roll. Someone we've talked about before when he signed, Josiah Azure. Going to be my pick for the future crop of Bison. 6'1", 227-pound fullback / linebacker, still undecided there. But when he came in the signing class, they just said athlete, because that's what he is. He is an athlete out of there. Don't love the hometown, Green Bay, Wisconsin. We'll work on that. I can get through that.
I don't think you can work on that. I think it is what it is.
I'll work on myself. I'm going to work on myself to get through that. That's what I should be saying. But from Green Bay, Wisconsin, totally fine. 2-year starter, 3-year letter winner there in high school. Played linebacker, fullback. I want to talk about a specialist. He played kicker and punter.
Yes.
As well.
Remember we talked about
true athlete. There you go.
Class, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. 2-time conference defensive player of the year. The Wisconsin Defensive Player of the Year in 2022 at 106 tackles, 24 tackles for loss, 8 sacks in just a 10-game senior season, and finished his high school career over 200 tackles, over 40 tackles for loss, and 13 sacks. Was also the state runner-up in the discus throw. Maybe even help out Stevie Keller in the NDSU men's track and field program, although they got some pretty good throwers on that program. Even some of them that have qualified for the next round in the national tournament. But Josiah Azure, my pick for the future crop of Bison. And on top of all of that, he was also diagnosed with cancer after he signed. He's gotten through that, cancer-free. Dude's already a winner.
Right. Yeah, that's a trump card
Future
right
crop
there.
of Bison, Josiah Azure.
Indy wins.
True freshman from Bayport High School, Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I'm going to make a prediction, though, that he redshirts.
Good chance of that.
Because, not because he's not talented enough, just because let him develop. You don't know what position he's going to play. Maybe give him a year to figure out where he fits in.
You got a lot of fullbacks.
My red shirt.
A couple of fullbacks at least.
Either way, it's a good pick.
Yeah.
I can't
Maybe a future linebacker. Coming in at 6'1", 227.
Yeah, put together.
I mean, that's big, especially for an incoming freshman.
Bigger than I was, I think, when I got here.
But I think a lot of times if you see like 6'4", 220, you're thinking, we can still put some weight. 6'1", 227. I'd be interested to talk with Coach Kramer about him specifically of how do you see his body changing? Like, I think he's just a great athlete and a great player. That's why you bring him in. But sometimes you see a guy that maybe just hasn't grown into his body. You're thinking, I can put 30, 40, whatever pounds on this person. Just like Cody Malk, great example of this, right? I don't know at 6'1", I don't know what his body looks like. I'd have to ask Coach Kramer that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's some science out there. You can kind of figure out how much weight you can put on a frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we used to have someone come in and they would kind of tell us. It was weird because it seemed like every time you max it out, they'd find a few more pounds in there somehow. Oh, well, actually, your frame changed, and now you can add on a little bit more. I will say, you guys remember Brian Schatz? We used to always give Brian a hard time telling him he was 5'11". I think he was like 6'1", whatever. But he was like 280. So the height isn't the only thing.
Fair enough.
So, but I don't think you want a fullback linebacker at 280, but I'm just saying.
A dangerous fullback at 280. Fridge coming downhill at you at that one. A future crop of Bison, though, brought to you by CNH Industrial, world-class equipment and technology for agriculture and construction. Break new ground in your career at cnhindustrial.com. Again, I've got Josiah Azure. We got Caleb Bowers.
Long
snapper for Kyle Emanuel. And Tremaine Turner, future cornerback, or defensive back at least, for NDSU out of where?
Lakeland,
Florida. For Micah Bindi. And this hour of The Insider is brought to you by Wimmer's Diamonds, a local family-owned jeweler serving and believing in this community for over 100 years. Stop in and see them at their new showroom, 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo. Take a break, come back. Couple segments left of the week before we get to our feel-good news here on The Insiders.
Champions play here. Your home for the Thundering Herd. Bison 1660.
When it comes to insurance, don't settle for just any policy. Choose to insure with Farmers Mutual of Nebraska and experience a service team that's local to you, backed by over 130 years of industry experience and financial strength. No contact centers and no runaround. Visit fmne.com to contact an agent today for a free, no-obligation quote. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Attention, attention! Are you a plumbing journeyman or apprentice? We want you! The region's fastest growing heating, cooling, and plumbing contractor, Valley Service Mechanical, is looking for journeymen and apprentices, and we're hiring immediately. We offer competitive pay, incentives, and a fun team to work with. If you're not happy where you're at, we'll make it worth your time to check out why you should join the Valley Service Mechanical team. It's easy to apply online today at valleyservice.net. Just click the red banner. That's valleyservice.net.
Not only does Golf Addiction have the best technology in the industry, but now they've got the best deal all summer long. 30 days of unlimited golf for just $50. Grab your buddies and get to Golf Addiction for cheap golf, amazing food, and daily all-day drink specials. No one else gets close to Golf Addiction's prices, food, full bar, and drink specials. It's Golf Addiction for virtual rounds of golf with your family and friends. And right now, unlimited 30-day summer golf pass is just $50. Grab your sticks and get to Golf Addiction.
Hey Bison Nation, Andy Reckoff here, and I just wanted to take a moment to say we absolutely love our Thoroldson Ethanol Broadcast Center. Love being there every day to bring you the very latest with NDSU athletics, but we're not the only ones that like to be in the studio.
Michael Tutsi with us here live in studio. Scott Anderson joining us, Director of Multimedia, NDSU.
The athletic director's inside the studio. Matt Larson's joining us. I told you we weren't the only ones. Fuel your future and join the growing team at Thoroldson Ethanol today by going online to theroldsonethanol.com.
Hi, I'm Jason, the
plant manager at CNH Industrial. I have had the great pleasure of working here for the last 28 years. Each day is an opportunity to make a positive impact on our customers by building a quality tractor or wheel loader. At CNH Industrial, we're not just a company, we're a community that values our employees and their contributions. We are currently hiring general assemblers with a starting pay of $25.75 per hour, a $4,000 sign-on bonus, and a $5,000 relocation package. Apply at cnhindustrial.com.
Gateway Chevrolet's Mega May sales event is going on now. Get up to $4,000 off a new Chevy Equinox at Gateway Chevrolet. Get up to $6,000 off a new Chevy Silverado in stock and ready to sell today. If it's a used car or truck you want, Gateway Chevrolet's Mega May sales event includes used cars and trucks with payments from $99 a month, or how about no payments for 6 months? Plus, Gateway Chevrolet will buy your used vehicle for top dollar. Gateway Chevrolet's Mega May sales event on now. See dealer for details.
Bison 1660.
Cold slow play. It's a slow play.
Cold play?
Nope.
Snow Patrol.
No.
Can I guess again?
You both guessed artist.
That was a good guess.
Chasing Cars.
Nope.
Is that even a band?
That's Chasing Cars is a song name.
Oh, okay.
So not a good guess on that.
This is such a sad song, Micah. What are you doing?
Is this Gavin DeGraw? I would have loved it if he did.
That's a good guess. I thought it was.
I would have loved it if he did that.
This is a band.
Stop and Stare.
Boom! Stop and Stare. No.
Stop and Stare is a good guess. No idea.
I don't know if you'll get the artist now or the band.
Is it a one-hit wonder?
No.
Oh wait. One Republic.
Boom!
Nice.
Good work, guys.
Nice, Andy.
There we go.
Look at us work through that.
We worked. That was teamwork.
I wouldn't have got
Nice
One
job.
Republic.
Good work. I remember listening to quite a bit of One Republic throughout the days.
I knew when I said Chasing
I was really
Cars,
thinking you were
I
going
was
to
like,
go
is that
Gavin DeGraw.
Is that a band or a song? It's something. I
It's
knew it
definitely a
was
song.
Gavin DeGraw was a good guess.
Yeah.
I feel like that's coming.
Oh yeah, Micah's going to do that at some point to us, and we're going to miss it too. We're not. We're not going to have any idea who it is at that point.
I think that's going to be your guess for the next 10 songs.
It should be a female
Like
artist, like Gavin DeGraw. He changed his voice.
Hard metal song.
Yeah,
Gavin
exactly.
DeGraw. No.
Got our feel good news of the week coming up for you here in just a little bit. That's a doozy this week, and it's a pretty good one. Looking forward to that. But before we get to that, the news that we talked about a little bit earlier on, still no landing spot yet, but DeAndre Hopkins has been released by the Arizona Cardinals. They did not do that post-June 1. That's kind of like the date, a lot of post-June 1 designations. Then the dead cap can be spread out. They're not designating it as post-June 1. He's released as of today. So they're taking the whole entire $22 million cap hit right now, which is just another sign that tells me the Cardinals are all in on just tank this year. And Kyler Murray might not be a Cardinal all that much longer.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but aren't they locked in? You got a lot of guaranteed money.
A ton of guaranteed money there. They took the whole $22 million cap hit this year.
That is wild.
Now, granted, if you spread it out, like what are you using the cap for right now anyways? That's the other argument. It's like it's not there's start of free agency. There's nobody out there to sign.
Yeah.
It's, the quote-unquote scrap heap. But
they can tank for, a top 2 or 3 pick, trade out of it, and then try and build again. I don't see them taking Caleb Williams and moving off of Kyler. I just don't see it.
There's a new GM, new coach.
They did it with Josh Rosen.
New GM. I thought it was still Steve Keim.
No. I don't believe so.
I think Steve Keim is still there.
Okay, Google it. Ask Jeeves or somebody.
Jeeves.
I don't care who it is. I don't know if it's still Steve Keim, but I could see them moving on. I really could. Just because there's been a lot of stuff around Kyler Murray the last couple of years.
Ossenfort?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a new GM.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's what I got here.
Steve Keim, I think, stepped down from the position I think there was some health reasons there as well.
Yeah, Monty Ossenfort.
Yeah. I believe from the Tennessee Titans.
Correct.
Man, great football mind.
January 16th,
I could see
2023.
But the other news yesterday, our good friend Darren Doogie Wolfson was talking on Score North down the Twin Cities and said, according to his sources, there's been talks with the Vikings and Dalvin Cook at restructuring his deal, and Dalvin's considering doing that because he thinks he might get more money in just a restructure than testing the open market by being released or traded. I don't think anyone's going to take on his contract, so maybe being released, he feels he can get more just by getting a restructure. Micah, would you be up for keeping Dalvin Cook?
Yeah, I'm not anti-Dalvin Cook like I'm anti-Adam Thielen.
Like Adam Thielen.
Dalvin Cook, I still think he has provided great moments last year. It just wasn't as consistent as we've seen in other years, and he just continues to get hurt. So that's why having Alexander Madison re-signed, I think that's great. And having 2 good running backs that you can trust, it's always a good thing to have. So I'd be happy to keep Dalvin Cook on a cheaper deal.
And I agree with his mindset here. He said, like you just said, Andy, reason being lack of teams needing a running back, and Cook could make more money by taking a pay cut versus testing the market. Look at Austin Eckler. He demanded a trade. The dude led the league in touchdowns a year ago. No one came after him. Now this is different because they don't have to. You could test the open market, but running backs, just as we continue to talk about, it's just a position. It's tough to find that money. Teams I just don't think they value it as much as they used to.
It's getting worse and worse for them too.
You can feel however you want to, but there's a lot of good running backs, and I've said this before. I think the difference between the top running back and the quote worst running back in the NFL, it's not as big as in other positions. I just don't think it is. You can find a lot of good running backs. Yeah, they might not be the star. They might not be an all-pro, but they're going to contribute. Look at what the Chiefs did last year. Now it's the Chiefs. I know that. But they had a 7th-round running back. Won the Super Bowl with him. Now, he's really good. Pacheco, I believe is his name.
Well, they also brought Jerick McKinnon out of nowhere, right? He'd been not retired,
resurrected
but
his career a little bit.
The money has shifted to the offensive line, paying tackles,
and
guards,
receivers.
and centers, and receivers obviously as well. But when you look at the Browns, there's always been rumors of them moving off of Nick Chubb. And we think of Nick Chubb as a game changer, but the Browns' offensive line has also been really, really good and helpful. Look at what happened. This case always
Kareem
comes
Hunt
up.
go too.
Yeah, this example always comes up to
Ezekiel
me.
Elliott.
DeMarco Murray, when he was with the Cowboys,
Now the
they had
Cowboys,
the
yeah.
best offensive line when they had DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray went to the Titans, didn't hear from him again.
Nothing. I think that's what you're going to see with Zeke too.
You're gonna keep seeing it. Teams are gonna pay offensive line before running back.
It's even getting worse for running backs. Then DeMarco Murray, who was really good for the Cowboys, I think we all kind of thought he's in the middle somewhere. I mean, right now, look at the running backs that aren't getting paid. I mean, Dalvin Cook, at this point of his career, he still is 28. I think he's got some game left. He's a good running back, but you mentioned nobody wanted to go after Austin Eckler, who had a trade request out there. Saquon Barkley didn't get a deal. That's Saquon Barkley. I know he's had some injury stuff, but that's a dude who was drafted in the top 10. And now there's trade rumors over this whole offseason. The Titans might trade Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
That's the preeminent. Those are like the Mount Rushmore of the current running backs right now. And they can't. They don't see value in them keeping them.
The issue for running backs is by the time they get to that second contract, they're considered old already. Yeah. Especially let's say you're a first-round running back and you're 22. So now you're 27, 28 looking for a 5-year deal, and teams are like, I'm not going to give you 5 years. You're going to be in your early 30s. It just seems like the shelf life for running backs is so small. It's so short. The teams just don't want to pay you when you get into your early 20s. Like, yeah, I'll give you a 1-year deal, but I'm not giving you these massive contracts that these other positions are getting.
And to extend that shelf life, that's why teams are going to running backs, but then also finding running backs that are almost better pass catchers than they are runners.
Try to keep some of the shots off of them.
Keep the big hots, and you're not seeing the power running backs. You're seeing guys that can catch the ball out of the backfield a lot.
In this hour of The Insiders, brought to you by Wimmer's Diamonds. For 103 years, they've watched you fall in love and stay in love, providing beautiful reminders to celebrate all your special moments. Wimmer's Diamonds, 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo. Take our final break. Come back with our feel-good news of the week on the other side.
Champions play here.
You're vice president material. You're vice president material.
Bison 1660.
When it comes to a diamond, we let you choose. Hi, I'm Aaron at Wimmer's Diamonds. From natural to lab-grown diamonds, we carry all the options our industry has to offer. Our team of experts is here to help you pick the perfect shape, size, color, and cut of diamond, along with the perfect ring mounting for your engagement or anniversary. We also offer the area's largest selection of finished jewelry. When you're ready to give the gift of sparkle, stop by and see us at Wimmer's Diamonds, 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo.
Invest in your community with Epic Companies. Hey, this is Mac. Have you been looking to diversify your portfolio and dive into real estate? We offer multiple types of investing through our mixed-use buildings and entertainment plazas. If you are an accredited investor and interested in hearing more about the investment process and how you can be part of enhancing the quality of life in the area, visit epiccompaniesnd.com to review our investment options. That's epiccompaniesnd.com.
How many apps do you have on your phone? 20? 30? 100? The only app that gets your car brand new clean is the Tommy's Express Car Wash app. Just download the app, pick your membership, add your info, and then head to Tommy's. Their license plate reader is convenient and fast, and you'll never have to get out of your car. You can even buy single washes on the app, too. You'll never wait in line for a wash again. Tommy's Express Car Wash with 4 FM locations.
When it comes to insurance, don't settle for just any policy. Choose to insure with Farmers Mutual of Nebraska and experience a service team that's local to you, backed by over 130 years of industry experience and financial strength. No contact centers and no runaround. Visit fmne.com to contact an agent today for a free, no-obligation quote. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Hey, Bison Nation! Did you know that NDSU Teammakers has 7 different golf tournaments throughout the summer? You can sign up your team today and enjoy a fun-filled day where you'll hang out with NDSU head coaches, administrators, and other Bison fans. All proceeds will benefit NDSU student-athlete scholarships. Your registration includes a player gift, food, beverages, and much more. Go to gobison.com or call 231-6172 to register your team today.
4 days, 4 locations, over 1,100 used vehicles with prices slashed to sell. It only happens once a year. Corwin Automotive's used Memorial Day liquidation. Now through Monday, get the lowest prices of the year on the state's largest selection of used vehicles. All makes and models clearly marked with the liquidation prices. No negotiations necessary. This sale ends at 8 p.m. on Monday and will not be extended. Corwin Automotive's used Memorial Day liquidation. Shop online, corwinauto.com.
This is the Insiders on Bison 1660. It's been a long week and we gotta end it on a positive note. So to get you feeling good for the weekend, presented by your good neighbor Ryan Kill of State Farm. This is the Feel Good News of the Week.
Welcome back to the Insiders, final segment of the day, end of the week.
Love this music, by the way.
Sending you off feeling good. Uplifting.
Yes, it is.
Heroic.
Especially after what Micah played for us coming out of the last break.
You were stopping and staring at my future crop of bison that I picked.
Oh, okay.
Josiah Azure is the best one. Long Sniper's pretty good.
We're going to keep track of that list.
We absolutely. Don't worry about that. Feel good news of the week, though. Every Friday we're telling you something good that happened this week to get you feeling good for the weekend. Brought to you by Ryan Kill, State Farm Agent Insurance. Great work with him. Love hearing the commercials with Kyle Emanuel's voice on that one as well. Our feel good news of the week this week comes to us from the city of Detroit.
You want to buy this mystery jersey for $1?
Sure.
Yeah?
I can't. I'm on duty right now. Oh, it's mine.
Do you got $1 on you?
I got you.
What's your name?
My name is Edge.
How long you been doing this job for?
About 6-7 years now.
You love it, I can tell.
I do. For the people. Honestly, for the people.
Are you from Detroit?
Yes, I am. Born and raised.
Are you a Tigers fan?
Of course. Tiger fan, yes.
What time you work till tonight?
Oh, I'm here till I think I'm 7. We got a lot going on tonight. Let's cross. And happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Have a great day. Enjoy your evening.
What's the chance you can get off your shift early tonight?
Oh, close to none. I wish I could.
No?
I really wish I could. Oh, my lieutenant is right there across the street.
Is there any chance we can get her off her shift?
Yeah, the top of the 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
We want to let you know that you got the thumbs up.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
We're going to the game. Right now.
My bitch. Oh, look at me that.
And you got $500.
Ah. Are you serious?
It's Mother's Day weekend. Want to celebrate a mom?
You don't even know right now. Oh. I was just telling my friends that we're gonna have to pull it together. And I hate taking from my kids and I try to get everything done. And I'm telling you, we just gonna have to pray. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.
Pretty awesome story out of the city of Detroit.
Thank you, Jesus.
Feel good news of the week. This is from, actually, the world of social media did something pretty good. And usually I think social media gets a bad rap. There are definitely some bad things about social media. There are some bad people on social media. This one's a good one, though, folks. MD Motivator on Instagram and TikTok as well, if you want to find more about it. But did a great piece there. Just goes up and just randomly gives out some cash to some local people around that area, random strangers. This one happened to be Lanita Edge is her name. You can find the story. I've kind of retweeted it a couple of times out there as well. She's a crossing guard for the city of Detroit basically does a lot of Detroit Tigers games, was asked, hey, do you want this jersey for $1? She said yes, but I'm kind of working right now. You heard the whole story right there. They take her to the Tigers game, give her $500, changes her life. She said she was struggling to pay rent, help pay for her 2 sons in college, the education and everything like that. They were trying to make ends meet. That went a long way. You even heard it there when they said she was off her shift. She even said, does this hurt my paycheck? As long as this doesn't hurt my paycheck, I'll do it. And that was all taken care of. The story didn't end there either. The young gentleman there, again, MD Motivator on Instagram and on TikTok, he put up a GoFundMe page, and the city of Detroit raised her $50,000. He was presented with a check at another game a couple of days later. And I can imagine the reaction there on that one. Over 90 million people watched that little video that we played for you from the Instagram account as well. Pretty cool story.
Yeah, and then she went on a little bit of a media tour, I believe, as well. And
Valley Sports Detroit.
You heard her reaction when she got 500, and I would encourage you to go find the video because it is a really cool story. They announce on the field she gets $50,000. She kind of falls to her knees. You can't believe it. Just a great story, especially around Mother's Day, and you could tell how much her kids meant to her. So a great story to end our week.
Zachary Daronowski's his name. He's the guy behind the generous donation there, the giving of the $500. He's the one that set up the GoFundMe page as well. Pretty cool story. And she said herself, this is going to go a long ways to rent, getting caught up on some bills and helping pay for some education for her 2 sons. And other thing, too, is that she said that just $50,000 to some people is a lot, to some people it's not. For her, it was more than a year's salary, the job that she had. And she had a couple of different jobs, including the crossing guard there. You can tell she loved her job, though. Well known around that Detroit Tigers area as well for being a crossing guard, very open, very communicative, and very nice with all the people that are crossing the streets. She was in the middle of the street, and this guy just comes up to her and starts asking her questions like, do you want a jersey? Most people would have said, no, leave, I'm working.
Yeah, get away.
And she was like, I'll just keep talking to him. He seems like a nice person, and I definitely rewarded for that generosity, getting right back to her. So social media coming through with something good for our Feel Good News of the week. There you go.
Way to go, social media.
Yeah, TikTok. Who would have thought?
Usually you're reading through comments, it's all negative stuff, and then we get to see that.
Of course. And our Feel Good News of the week to end the week is now brought to you by Ryan Kill Insurance with State Farm. Your good neighbors at State Farm, Ryan Kill Insurance, bringing you our Feel Good News of the week here once again. Happy to have him aboard. Tell us a little bit more about Ryan Kill, State Farm Insurance. You work with them.
I do work with them.
With the good neighbors.
Hear their commercial with my voice and your voice at the end of it. No, they've been great. Like I said the first time when we announced that they were hopping on with us, they wanted to be a part of something good, right? And it's kind of what they do there over at State Farm, the good neighbors, and they're like, oh, Feel Good News Friday, absolutely. We want to be a part of that. So we appreciate them being a part of it and bringing you the good news every single week.
Feel Good News Friday, sponsored by Ryan and the good neighbors over at Ryan Kill State Farm in West Fargo and Fargo. That will do it for us today on the program. Back with you on Tuesday. Best of edition of the show on Monday, Memorial Day weekend. Everybody have a happy Memorial Day weekend. Enjoy it. Be safe. We'll see you back here on Tuesday for a live show. Monday is a best of, and we'll see you out at 4 o'clock at Newman Outdoor Field tonight. NDSU, SDSU in an elimination game in the Summit League tournament. That will do it for us. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Hey, it's Kyle Emanuel, former defensive end for the Bison. I have always tried to surround myself with people I trust and who want me to succeed. It's been my life motto, and this is so true when you are choosing your insurance game plan, which is why I have the good neighbors of Ryan Kill State Farm on my team. Ryan made finding the right insurance plan so simple. I told him my priorities, and he gave me clear options so I could make an educated decision without pressure or a hidden agenda. There are so many insurance agencies, but not many as great as Ryan Kill State Farm.
If you want a good neighbor on your sideline, reach out by going to RyanKillInsurance.com.
In 1953, Bill Samuels created a simple bourbon, while Margie Samuels worked on her creative vision. A bottle hand-dipped in red wax, wrapped in a hand-cut label, filled with handcrafted bourbon that elevated flavor and remains unchanged as of today. Aromas of woody oak, caramel, and vanilla, with a taste that is sweet and balanced with caramel, vanilla, and fruity essences. Every barrel of Maker's Mark is aged to taste, not time. Maker's Mark, the star of your home bar. Please drink responsibly. responsibly. Do you love problem solving and working with your hands? If so, Campbell Properties is looking for you. Campbell Properties is a Fargo-based real estate investment and property management company, and they currently have openings in their maintenance department. These are full-time positions that come with an attractive benefits package, which includes health insurance, 401k, a monthly rental discount, quarterly incentives, vehicle allowance, and advancement